supposedly 24 hours they got me off.
The officials say that Israel is offering.
I'm not over here spreading gossip, lies, conspiracy theories. I'm not doing left-wing nut loser. I could be a parakeet or right-wing racist crap about Black history not being on. I don't know what's wrong. YouTube don't do this. YouTube's educated. What's up, Mark Zuckerberg? What's up? You got people on there spreading lies and gossip, and you're continuing to let them be on there. YouTube's like, okay, we have community standards, but I don't know what those community standards are. So forget you, Facebook. I can't tag the people I need. If I don't get what I need to get today, I will send a bill to Facebook. They will owe me $1 million. And believe me, if Mark Zuckerberg's buddy can get money out of him, I will.
Association President Tim Wildman says, quote, the problem is that the teachers unions and the American Library Association don't care one iota about what parents think or want their own children. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
North Carolina School Board's decision to reject two LGBT provisions the General Assembly directed districts to comply with could lead to some type of legal action shortly. One provision requires schools alert parents before a student goes by a different name and or pronoun. This is SRN News. Major League Baseball adding 3 players to the Hall of Fame.
Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, Todd Helton. They are now members of the Baseball Hall of Fame. On Tuesday, they were voted in by the Baseball Writers Association of America. Beltre was voted in on 95% of the ballots. Mauer got in on his first attempt, while Helton made the grade on his 6th try. Gary Sheffield fell short of the 75% threshold necessary for induction, with 64% on his 10th and final attempt. I'm Bruce Moore.
Influx of artificial intelligence software transforming the way we work. Small business owners are using AI tools to check grammar and emails, bunch up marketing copy, and research business plans. Bigger companies are developing tools to help the smaller business integrate AI into their operations in more advanced ways. More details at srnnews.com.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's Home Advisor. Home Advisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Buying some pretzel sticks?
Excuse me?
This is your wake-up.
Fires. That's 24 classic radio shows per month, plus the games, celebrity interviews, music trivia, and much more. Listen to Hollywood 360 and Radio Rarities whenever you'd like. Visit Hollywood360radio.com to subscribe. That's Hollywood360radio.com.
Where can you be a star athlete and a math superstar? Where can you prepare for graduate school or your dream job and make friends for the journey? Where can you challenge your mind and inspire your soul? Experience a transforming education at LaGrange College, one of the South's most affordable, highly ranked institutions. Learn more at lagrange.edu.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a top expert in medical, health, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent for finding the perfect plan to fit your needs. She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sale agent.
LaGrange, Georgia, Sweetland on Ice, November 17th through February 11th. Adults, kids, and group rates available. It's free just to hang out near the fire pit. Drinks, monthly movies, food truck Friday nights beginning in December. Weather updates and hour changes on the Facebook at Sweetland on Ice or Instagram at Sweetland on Ice Official. To book a party or learn more about seasonal passes, contact Lizzie at Sweetland and Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowetaforest.org or follow us on Facebook. Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Newton. Same great taste, the best chicken around. Fish dinners, open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. is Wishbone Fried Chicken, right next door to their former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A, here in Newton.
You hear music. Do the lyrics speak to you on a deeper level? I'm Bruce Thornton. Join me and Donna Wood every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, for our show Lyrical Wisdom. Every week we will dive into the lyrics of songs and uncover hidden messages that we hope will leave you feeling inspired and enlightened. We know that our ideas may not always line up with yours, so this show will be an open discussion. Email us with ideas for songs at lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Let's share some wisdom together.
Hey sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of the Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for...
Hey sports fans, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show with Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. That's Braves Country with Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
And at the time period where they were going to start to discuss what was Vince McMahon's role.
At the time, I believe his title was social media director of the White House. It became deputy chief of staff at the time of the conversation when the question took place. The conversation was on December 19th of 2020 at the White House Christmas party. And I emphasized to him, I thought that the claims and the ability to challenge.
Good morning, folks. You can't share it on my Neal page, so I connected to the WQEE page to get for you to go onto the YouTube. For some reason, they said I got 24 hours. I don't know what the hell I committed or what I committed, especially when you got left-wing nuts and right-wing racists that are saying all kind of things on here. All right, guys, nobody wants the truth, not even Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. They're afraid of the truth. And no, nobody's sitting here telling a bunch of conspiracy theories on the left-wing side or the right-wing side. No, we don't do that. Straight edge, independent skeptic, telling it like it is. It's time for you to get into lockdown. You're on YouTube with us and other places. It's RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm the host of the most, the one, the only Ryan O'Neal. And of course, I am the game. 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast. Shout it out loud. Be jealous. Of course, we're all over the RyanORadio media page that works perfect and across the Earth, Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. We're across the British Columbia Isles of Canada, And finally, the Jordan Communication and Family radio stations, East Alabama, West Georgia, including right here at Real Radio 99.1 FM, WQEE The Key. No, we're not in our mom's basement or anywhere in our basement going, the world is coming to an end. Let's listen to Alex Jones. No, we're Real Radio telling the real truth. And Facebook is pulling us off because some little whiny little right-wing or left-wing nut got mad. And to my haters, I got one thing to say to you, nut. All right, in my so many years of being on Facebook, guys, welcome into the RyanORadio Penitentiary. It's about 12 minutes past the hour. We're holding at about 52 degrees, cloudy skies out there, rain in the forecast for the remainder of the day. Good morning to you, good evening, good afternoon. If I don't see you again, a good night. What's really bothering me this morning was I'm not able to tag or share my show anywhere this morning because Facebook said I committed some kind of something against their standards, and I have nothing against their standards. I don't sit here and worship the right side or the left side. So it must have been some little lunatic crybaby on one side of the aisle or something, because, being part of the independents, which is the 48% of the voters out there, we're the top dogs. Of course, everybody else that's part of the left-wing nuts and the right-wing nuts that are a small portion of the other two sides, they get mad because their conspiracy theories are being taken off because they want me taken off because I'm telling the truth. And if it's somebody I think it is, dude, don't do it again, because you'll be out of this business quicker than that, because with FCC laws, you guys are not following them. You're not following them, and FCC is taking over. Why do you think so many people are losing off on Spotify? It's not because they're only getting 6 downloads, folks. Spotify don't care about that. It's the content and how people are presenting that content that's costing them. And some moron that says, well, I can say whatever I want to say. Well, that's why you're some moron. Real radio for real people. We're not in our mom's basement. I cannot share this. Period. What's up, Doc? How you doing? I sound like Bugs Bunny there. Dr. Edwards on with us this morning. I don't understand the concept of why nothing that's ever been discussed on this page or anything to our sort, or I don't even share anything on my personal Facebook page that would get me against community standards. Okay. And on YouTube, they already have it set up to where you know what kind of community standards they have. It's right here in front of them. It says, welcome to live chat. Remember, guard your privacy and obey all our community guidelines. And we're doing that. And we're on YouTube, but Facebook's doing a 24-hour thing. And I've looked back and there's nothing no post on my page that I would say had anything to do with doing that. So I don't know if it's some little crybaby person on one side of the aisle or the other side of the aisle, because I won't pick a side. And I'm not going to pick a side. I'm straight out the middle. That's what I do. I don't know whether it was that or how it was. I don't know what caused their community standards to come up. So I'm unable to share on my personal Facebook page today. I was able to get on the radio station Facebook page and share. I've been having trouble to get in there, and they don't know how to help me get in there. Facebook is not doing very well. And Mark Zuckerberg, come on, dude. I know you don't. When he started this thing, he started it for a whole different reason. Now they got all these different so-called community standards. And I know that I don't lean enough towards one side or the other that's going to get me put into a 24-hour shutdown or whatever. So I don't know what's going on with these lunatics. And the stuff we discuss on this show, horrifying history, like coming up today, that's what that wouldn't even mess anything. So I don't comprehend what's going on with them. I'm trying to get in touch with them right now to find out what community standards I supposedly broke with these jabronis. Because I look on my page and I don't see anything. Maybe I'm looking at one particular person that's jealous because he gets thrown off all the time, but he's in his basement. This is real radio, big difference. Maybe he's the one jealous of all this. I don't know. I cannot do that. So unfortunately, I'm unable to tag as many people that normally were coming on yesterday that gave us this high percentage. Maybe they got jealous because I actually have viewers and listeners. And I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just saying it makes me smile when I go back and see how many of you actually are on there commenting, and then I get 70 right in the first hour of viewers, and this many viewers and that, and it keeps growing and growing and growing on the YouTube, and I appreciate that. So I don't know if somebody was jealous and the community standards came up, and they're the ones. I don't like what he's talking about. He's embarrassing me because I'm a jabroni. There's a lot of jealous people out there. And Doc, you probably know about this in your business. I don't know. I mean, do scientists and doctors and people in your line of work get jealous of one another? I think you guys are too educated to do that, but maybe so. Let me know in the feed there, Doc, if people in your, because the last few days have been fantastic and growing, continue to help me because I'm trying to make a living at this. I'm not doing this as a part-time thing in my mom's basement or sitting over there because I got another job. This is my job. This is what I was called to do. And you got people out there to just keeping you off of your social media sites. And it's just terrible. It's terrible. And I've never said anything that would be against community standards. So it had to be somebody reported goes, he's got too many people. I don't like that. He's bigger than my hero who tells lies. And YouTube and all them, like YouTube doesn't care about this whole thing that people go saying, well, it's one of these things, these algorithms, and they don't care about all that. They don't. The people that get mad at one another are usually the people that are doing these shows. And I'm on YouTube, and YouTube's way stricter than Facebook. So, and they've done nothing but send me a congratulations. Hey, it looks like you're going up, young man. Like, thank you. All right, let's get into some headline news this morning, I guess. Let's do our daily devotion right quick. Brought to you by Noonan City Church, 17 First Avenue, here in the metro Atlanta area of Noonan. All right, that's 17 First Avenue here in the metro Atlanta area, Noonan. Pastor Jimmy Ellison and staff invite you out every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Inside service is 9 a.m. and 10:30. Outside service, weather permitting, and NCC PM, the hip cool kids on Sunday evening with Pastor Cedric. Inviting you out every Sunday, transforming lives for Jesus' sake. Coming from Jesus Listens, this is Sarah Young's book, and she's the author of Jesus Calling. On this 24th day of January, she's bringing together Isaiah 61:10, 2 Corinthians 5:21, and says, my Savior, thank you for the precious robe of righteousness that covers me from head to toe. The price you paid for a glorious garment is outstanding. Your own sacred blood. I realize I can never purchase this royal robe, no matter how hard I work. Lord, I long to trust in you enough to remember that my privileged position in your kingdom and to relax in luxury in that magnificent robe. When my behavior is unfitting of the child of God or the child of the king, it's tempting to throw away my robe. Help me instead throw off that unrighteous behavior. Then I'll be able to feel ease in the garment of grace. In your royal name, Jesus. That's a good one there this morning. I needed that with all this stuff that's going on with the Facebook for me. But hey, what's going on Facebook? Why is there a community standards? I do not do anything to do community standards. There's people who drop F-bombs and S-bombs that stay on there. There's people who show naked pictures that stay on Facebook. What community standards have I broke? YouTube's like, hey, congratulations going up. So I know it was someone out there. I'm sorry to start the show off like this, guys, but it was a little irritating. I'm getting everything ready. I'm all like the Smurfs and happy and everything this morning. And I go to start tagging this, and it starts. I'm like, what? Then I'll go and I was able to share it on the radio station page at least. I was like, but I couldn't tag everybody. And it's just unbelievable how I couldn't tag everybody. Apologize to those that are trying to find it. I am on YouTube. You still can find me on YouTube. Go to the WQEE Facebook page, and you can go to the YouTube and link into there if you want to see me live. Let's jump into some headline news for you this morning. Is it going to be a rematch of 2020? Is it going to be a rematch between two guys that both need to be in the Nursing home? Uh-oh, I just made somebody mad. They're probably going to give me 24 more hours because I want to agree with either side. But you let losers get on there and say whatever they want. I better not see certain people on Facebook today or I'll report them. Just getting back at you. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Actually, I shouldn't I? President Joe Biden won New Hampshire's Democratic primary as a write-in candidate, while former President Donald Trump finished ahead of Nikki Haley in the Republican side on Tuesday. Trump declared victory about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with 21% of the votes recorded. He was joined on stage by former candidates Vic Ramaswamy and Senator Tim Scott. As he downplayed Haley's performance, he also claimed that he won the New Hampshire in 2016 and 2020 elections, which he did not. So there you go. What? There's death there. Much of the former president's victory speech was dedicated to derailing Haley. So, I'm talking about she had a bad night and all that good stuff. Wow. Haley did congratulate Trump shortly before he delivered his victory speech by 11 p.m. NBC News, CBS News also called the primary for Trump. By midnight, Trump carried 54% of the votes compared to Haley's 43%. The vote count put Trump about 26,000 votes ahead with 134,595 with 75% of the votes counted. I've heard the news from all of them, says Haley to the crowd. New Hampshire is the first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation, she says. So she says she's going to continue to move on, continue to fight. On the other side, the Democratic Party was overwhelming, had a big victory for President Biden. According to the state's party chairman, Ray Buckley, Biden did not appear on the ballot at all with Representative Dean Phillips and author Marianne Williamson, but overwhelmingly, he a campaign write-in delivered more than 33,000 votes for the president, with 41% of them votes tallied. Phillips received 950,000 votes. Despite President Biden being absent on the ballot, he still had a great turnout, said Buckley. Once again, New Hampshire's first in the nation primary made history. So there you go. And it is an election year, and we'll continue to bring you election coverage to the best and top of our ability. We will not be sitting here doing direct derogatory things left and right. And if they're going to sit around and do that and allow that on Facebook, those jabronis should be pulled off, period, because their opinions don't matter. Yes, it does. No. Causing division does not matter. A new program introduced in New York City by New York City Mayor Eric Adams and his health commissioner seeks to help out 2 billion people in medical debt that owe over thousands of dollars in debts. The announcement comes just short of a new RIP medical debt program would cost the city about $18 million, and the debt is going to go over the next 3 years there in New York. A health bid was born in the side of New Jersey. A healthy baby was born on the side of a New Jersey road. What? During some dangerous winter storms. Sounds like a plot to one of your soap operas, right? The baby girl and mom are doing good at this time. Spartan Police Department said the mother and baby are well, and one police officer was able to help out during this time. Just think, having to help out during that time. Wow. Woo. Some snippets of news for you as we get ready to head into our first break. Appeals court rejects the former president's request to lift gag order on the election case. The SAP announces a job buyouts restructuring plan. NATO approves $1.2 billion bill for artillery. And 24 Israel soldiers are killed in the largest military loss suffered in war with Hamas. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few as well. But first, let's take a look at what's going on with that traffic this morning. And traffic should be coming to the radio station YouTube page. If it's blocked because of Facebook, we're going to thank Facebook. And I'm going to send them a message. I'm trying to get with them. I am not, for some reason, I'm on a 24-hour community guidelines messed up, and I have nothing on my page that would be, nothing on my show that would be, no dropping F-bombs or S-bombs, because we're real radio, so I'm under FCC law. I follow FCC restrictions. I'm not spreading lies and gossip. I'm not doing clickbait, so I don't understand what is messed up. I went back and looked, and the only thing you had on there extra was somebody Randy Rocket Cody wanting to help out new young metal bands. Well, that's just terrible. That's going to get you pulled off. I had a news story that my wife shared on the page about a wrestler making his daughter wrestle. She didn't want to wrestle, so he wrestled her or something. I don't know. I didn't even read I didn't get a chance to read the story. There's nothing that I would say dropping community guidelines, and I am pissed off about it. Sorry to do that on a weird Wednesday when we got a great guest coming up for you in the final period and everything, but somebody had to say something because they were jealous because their little imaginary conspiracy theories were not being listened to anymore. I know what it is. Let's see where my shade's at. I know it's probably this. Wait a minute. There's a broom in the corner. Let me see if that turns when my Roddy Piper glasses into it. It didn't turn into a lizard. Jesus Christ. Dadgummit. Oh, my Lord. Oh, man. It didn't turn. Sorry. Sorry about your luck. All right, let's take a look at your traffic brought to you by Gillensworth Realty.
Especially today, you raise a lot of questions. Hi, I'm Amy with Gillensworth Realty. My husband Todd and I serve the Coweta and local area. Our purpose at our first meeting is to learn your goals, answer questions, and provide resources so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. 678-525-0047 to schedule a free consultation today to discuss your real estate needs. You don't need to do this alone.
I'm down with that. Don't have to do it alone. All right, let's see what's going on here on this early morning hours. Let's take a look at traffic. Take a look at traffic. Traffic looking good on the Bullsboro area and downtown Noonan, or in Bullsboro and Noonan. Also, Lower Fayetteville Road looking good. Popular Road picking up a little bit. And from the station, Jack Street, we're picking up just a tad bit, heading towards LaGrange Street as the school is getting ready to go in session. School buses will be by here in just a few moments. Heading towards downtown Interstate 85 southbound. We'll go that way in a minute. Let's go northbound to Gwinnett County. A crash being cleared right now in the northbound lane there, Sugarloaf Parkway. That's cleared up as we speak. Also, ladies and gentlemen, travel advisory in Fulton County, crash near I-85 near exit 88, clearing that up as we speak too. Heading towards in the downtown area of Atlanta. If you're going in Atlanta, crash I-75-85 northbound shut down right before University Avenue. That's exit 244. Please use I-85 or Metro Parkway because the delays are going to be up to about 10:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Southbound looking good in Hogansville as well as Grantville. LaGrange looking good. Let us know if you see anything that I don't see. Shoot us an email at 99classicrock@gmail.com. Become a WQEE news hound. Back in a moment. We are live on the RyanORadio Penitentiary page. We're all over the YouTube page. You can get to the YouTube page on our WQEE Facebook page. My personal Facebook page is not working this morning. There's some kind of community standards are broken. I've never done anything. As long as I've been on there, I don't know what happened. And we're all over Earth Rock Radio and the Navajo Nation there and across the British Columbia Isles of Canada. We're everywhere else, and our Shoutcast and radio page. Man, we're everywhere you need to be. We're everywhere else. We appreciate you tuning in. Georgia basketball returns home to face LSU tonight. We'll talk more about that and other things coming up in just a few. But next, Israel at war. On this
Hump Day, brought to you by our friends at Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. For today, well, we've got ourselves a 60% chance of showers, cloudy. Showers throughout the day, high near 66. East-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, south-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Showers continue, thunder showers overnight, 80% chance of rain, and a low near 62. Headed into your Thursday, showers and thunder showers likely for the morning, heavy rain by the afternoon, high near 71, 70% chance of showers, south winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Hitting a 60% chance of showers for your Thursday night as it continues throughout the metro Atlanta and Atlanta areas, low near 61. By your Friday, high near 68 as showers continue, a 70% chance of showers, and a 60% for Friday night with a low near 60. That's your active weather forecast, sponsored by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. Active Pest Control offers the best services and prices to protect your home, offering both monthly and quarterly pest control services, plus specific services like bed bug, vermin roach, and flea control. Even if you can't see them, insects are all around you 24/7. Active Pest Control wants to be the first line of defense. Active Pest Control, repair, buy, best termite coverage around. Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street, Noonan, 770-954-9941.
You're walking, shopping, or on your favorite trail, you get that feeling somebody's coming up on you. What do you do to be prepared in today's world? Hi, I'm Holly Reese. I'm the founder of Warrior Defenders. As a certified tactical self-defense instructor, I'm specializing in women's self-defense. All women of all ages have the ability to learn how to defend themselves effectively. With technical drills to build their survival skills, you can be your own hero. Classes and private seminars are available. Learn today to have a safer tomorrow. WarriorDefenders.com.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a top expert in medical, health, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent for finding the perfect plan to fit your budget. She works with multiple companies to ensure the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston. CP
Thank you for liking it.
Your top local sale agent.
The Run for Angels at Chicken Q, February 3rd. 5K, 10K Fun Run. Fun Run 8 a.m. 5K, 10K, 8:30 a.m. Chicken Q Blaze, 9:30 a.m. to noon. Drive through or drive in. Noonan First United Methodist Church, 33 Greenville Street. Presented by the Kiwanis Club of Noonan. Run for Angels at Chicken Q, February 3rd. Be there.
Shenmue Performing Arts invites you to travel to the magic world of ancient China. Experience a lost culture brought to life with incredible classical Chinese dance, magical scenery, and soul-stirring music. Shenmue, coming to River Center for the Performing Arts, January 23rd only. Tickets at shenmue.com/Columbus-GA. That's SHENYUN.com/Columbus-GA.
Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. What's up, Sportsnet inmates and more? And we're on the YouTube page. We're not on our regular Facebook page, Ryan O'Neal, because for some reason I got blocked on some kind of community standards on there. Probably some jealous jabroni that's jealous that's never done this business before. They're sitting in their basement spreading conspiracy theories and lies because they're uneducated, you know, and they're pulling out the Bible and trying to preach the Bible, and they don't know the Bible. So I don't know what happened, because I don't know what's going on with community standards on there. You can go to the WQEE page and get the YouTube page, share it, let everybody know. I don't know why they blocked me. I don't understand. I am pissed off about it. I'm sorry. Good morning, Cyro in Monte Carlo. How you doing this morning, my friend? So there you go. We'll appreciate you being with us. Sweet Lee says, you're always on our radio dial. I appreciate it. Seems like I never get pulled off the Navajo Nation for some reason. Everybody else is whiny little crybabies. He's got something I don't have. Yeah, it's called talent. I want to tell my conspiracy theory about the lizard man coming and stopping me. I want to. I'm a flat earther. That's got to be what it is. Somebody like that had to do it. Somebody had to, because I went on my page. There's nothing on my page that goes against community standards, period. Okay? Nothing. Heck, we didn't even release anything about the Epstein list until after it was released on my page. Even though certain people did talk about it and it was on my show. I think because of and Cyrus says he's been blocked for 30 days. I've seen that guy's page. It's one of my listeners and friends, and I've never seen anything on his page that would be considered against community standards. I guess being an everyday, normal, good person is against community standards, right? Unless you're doing a bunch of conspiracy theories. Let's fight each other. Yeah, let's get the Civil War morons wanting to fight each other. None of them know what to do anyway. It's not like they're really fighting like Hamas terrorists and Israel soldiers, right? Yeah. All right, let's jump into it. Israel has a propaganda. Oh, what the heck is going on here? This is not right. All right. Israel at war, ladies and gentlemen. I am a little miffed this morning about Facebook because I've never done anything, period. I don't even put anything on my page, period. So I'm sorry, guys. If you hear me complaining about it, I'm going to complain about it this morning because I'm about fed up with their so-called community standards, why people get on there and argue about imaginary conspiracy theories, about lizard people, about being a parakeet. But I can't get on here and tell, like, Israel at war and what's really going on over there. Like, Hamas released a propaganda documentary denying the massive destruction and blaming Israel for the citizens' deaths on October 7th in a 16-page document that they sent out. This was in the Jewish Times newspaper that they put out saying they said that these people said this. They called themselves a national libertarian group. And they call for an investigation into the conflict. They're asking for that because they're getting their butts whooped, right? Thousands of Palestinians fled south from Gaza as IDF agents accused of raiding a hospital and encircling around a military base is seeking to avoid misplacing citizens out of shelters. 3 IDF officers were killed and this fierce battle in the deeper southern territory of Gaza, ladies and gentlemen. Also, 24 soldiers killed and the largest military loss suffered with that war with Hamas on Monday. 24 soldiers were killed and several others were injured in central Gaza on Monday. The IDF, the Israel Defense Force, said the largest military loss in the Middle Eastern country since the war began in October. A terrible day, says a representative for the IDF, and we'll keep them in our thoughts and our prayers. Also, ladies and gentlemen, combat officer killed in Gaza was on his way home from the war. The 29-year-old fell in battle on Monday on the Gaza Strip. He was going to come home and he was going to propose to his lovely bride. What's up, Anna Marie? How you doing? I got threatened with Facebook jail for posting a cute animal picture. No explanation except for it went against community standards. Laugh out loud. Them dadgum cute little puppy dogs. That's just evil, man. That's just evil. Well, at least YouTube's not stupid enough to be that way. Thank you, YouTube. I tell you what, I know what happened to mine. I honestly believe it. I was picking up momentum off of my Facebook page connected to my YouTube page. I was picking up momentum and the YouTube was going up, and I was getting messages in my email from YouTube telling me, very good, you're doing very good, and everything. And they've been very, very nice. And all of a sudden this happened this morning. I'll go to do this. I go to add, I think like over 100 people. And I press it and it says, you're something against community standards in 24 hours. I'm like, what? I'm not a Hamas terrorist. I looked on my page and I was like, what was against community standards? I know I got a buddy that's a journalist that shares some things, but I looked on there going, there's nothing on there that I would say would be, that he tagged me in that would do anything. But I was able to get on a radio station Facebook page. But man, I had people from everywhere yesterday, all over the world on this thing. So I'm feeling like somebody might have reported it because they were jealous. Man, he got people, man. I'm sitting in my basement. He's at a radio station, WQEE 99.1 FM. I'm in my basement. Oh, he's doing this full time trying to make a living, and I'm over here just doing it just to be an idiot. I believe that's what it is somebody got jealous. But now that you're telling me, Cyro said in his to me, he's out for 30 days, and that dude never puts anything on his page. Never puts anything on his page. He'll pop up a signal of his religion, which is over wherever in he's in Monte Carlo, and I never see anything that I would say would be against community standards on his page. He's down for 30 days. I guess Mark Zuckerberg's not running anymore. Like, Mark, get away from over here. Community standards is they're not spreading enough lies and gossip. We have to stop this woman from putting a dog picture on it. This is cute. This might bring somebody some joy. We can't have that on there. Facebook's like, we cannot have a picture of an animal. I'm going to find a way to get in touch with them today when I get off the air. I'm going to contact them. I'm going to say, look, I don't know what's going on with you guys, but you have messed up my show on this Wednesday, and you're going to owe me $1 million. Just tell Mark Zuckerberg to make it out to me. Oh, my goodness. Good thing I wasn't going live on Facebook there, right? Told you the radio station one is safe because we're under FCC law. And so is this YouTube page under FCC law. So being under FCC law gives me a little bit more wiggle room compared to some jabroni that's in their mom's basement trying to tell you something. Because they're not doing any community guidelines for broadcasting. But it's irritating. I'm hearing more and more about this now with these people, with everybody saying that. But that's stupid. I better be back on today. If not, I promise you, I'll find somebody that will sue them. Because you don't block me when I've never done anything in my entire life. You don't block me. And that's what I'll tell them. They probably won't care because they're high-class Karens and Chads, but I'll be like, look, YouTube's the reason they're successful and you guys are not is because they don't take pictures down of somebody with a cat. Cat, hang in there, guys. They don't take that down. They don't throw you into jail for that. No, I'm not in jail. They just took me off for 24/7, 24 hours because of I failed community guidelines. And they didn't tell me what it was or what post it was. So, jabronis. Back in a moment. You can see me on YouTube. It better not affect my YouTube numbers, because if it does, I promise you guys, I promise you. I'm calling them today to tell them they affected me. I use it to tag a lot of my friends, because a lot of my friends on my page like to see me. I don't know why, but they do. I don't understand why, but they do. All right, back in a moment. Maybe I should call the Illuminati. That'll take care of them. They're evil. Everybody's evil. They just don't like it that I got 5,000 friends and know them all personally on my page.
Second career triple-double, 25 points, 11 boards, 10 dimes. The Clippers knocked off the Lakers for their third straight win. The Eagles fired offensive coordinator Brian Johnson. Raiders reportedly closing in on hiring former Chargers general manager Tom Telesco to become their new GM. Baseball.
The lizard people, they will save us. They're gonna bring the they're gonna bring the horse pills for us too. The other people that is against the lizard, against the so-called lizard people, are the ones that are jealous. They need to stop playing in their mom's basement in my business.
Shopping for insurance doesn't have to be stressful. I'm Christy, owner of Ellsworth Insurance, located here in Newnan, Georgia. We're an independent agency with access to multiple carriers for home, auto, life, health, and commercial insurance. We're your one-stop shop for your insurance needs. www.insuredwithellsworth.com 770-755-7053. We look forward to meeting you soon.
This is Margie from the Connecting Hearts Network. I'd like you to take just a moment and listen to Linda Kirkpatrick explain to you what Family Patterns Matters is all about.
Family Patterns Matter works with youth and their families to help overcome barriers that prevent their success. We meet twice a month with mentoring, tutoring, teaching life skills, resilience, gratitude, and kindness. We also bring music and art therapy. Please visit our website at www.familypatternsmatter.org.
The Run for Angels at Chicken Coop, February 3rd. 5K, 10K fun run. Fun run 8 a.m. 5K, 10K, 8:30 a.m. Chicken Coop Place, 9:30 a.m. to noon. Drive through or drive in. First United Methodist Church, 33 Wrinkle Street. Presented by the Kiwanis Club of Newnan. Run for Angels at Chicken Coop, February 3rd. Be there.
I am Apostle Deborah Harris, Pastor Apostle of Kingdom Connected Ministries International at 121 Hillwood Circle, Newnan, Georgia. Presenting Connecting the Kingdom. Connecting kingdom citizens, kingdom businesses, and advancing the kingdom of God in this hour. Join us each Tuesday at 10 o'clock a.m. with guests who are sharing their faith, business, and ministry.
What is good? 99.1 WQEE The Key. We got the hottest new show coming to you live, The Jet Stream. Tune in every Saturday on your 9 a.m. morning drive.
Your account is restricted for 23 hours. Your account your account activated didn't follow our community standards, so you can't do one or more things than you usually do. Why, jabroni? Why Facebook? Why Facebook? I didn't do anything. I've never done anything since I've been on this thing. I don't share anything on my page, so something is up. I want to find out if it was some jabroni that might have lied, because I live over here in the basement telling people about lizard people, and that boy there tell the truth. I don't like boys to tell the truth. It offends my ego, my teeny tiny ego. That's why I got that big old truck. Ooh, did I offend somebody? Nah, I don't care. You're talking to a man that doesn't care. All right, a British therapist testified in a court Wednesday in a case of a mechanical engineer who stabbed 3 people to death in a rampage in the city of Nottingham last year, a day after he pleaded guilty to manslaughter on the grounds of, well, he wasn't able to because he wasn't able to his mind couldn't comprehend it. Well, the 32-year-old known as Vado Clodocaine, say that 5 times fast, right? Who killed a Nottingham University students, a 19-year-old and a 65-year-old janitor, 2 19-year-olds and a 65-year-old janitor, attempted to kill 3 other people by driving into them in June, will not be tried for murder after prosecutors accepted his mental illness. Wow, they accepted his mental illness there. It's mental illness when they take you off the Facebook page and block you. It's mental illness when people think the lizard people are real. It's mental illness. Nottingham Crown Court is hearing pre-sentencing and therapy reports on the man who has a history of mental illness but no criminal record, although he was wanted at the time of the killing in connection with an assault on a police officer back in 2022. So there you go. Still to come this morning, we're going to talk about a new pandemic, a virus that's frozen right now, and it could be coming out. Oh, yeah, I can't wait for this one to come out. What, Ryan? Well, you shouldn't have been mean to me. Now I don't care that the virus is going to come out. The next pandemic could be deep within the surface of the earth. We'll talk about it coming up this morning in just a few in the next hour plus. Still to come in the final period, Professor Brenda Ganske joins us right here on the show. Professor Brenda Ganske from Horrifying History. I just call her Professor. Where we take the history and stain the blood of the unknown in the history pages of yesteryear. Horrifying History, the host and owner, will be with us this morning. We'll be with Brenda Ganske in the final period. All right, we're about 5 minutes away from the top of the hour. I guess it's about time for us to do our thing. That means go up to the top of the hour and everything, get ready for news and all that good stuff. As I still try to figure out what is going on with this Facebook. I'm a little mad about it. I want to thank YouTube, though. YouTube sent me some messages last couple of days saying the show is doing very well and it's gaining what it's gaining, and this is what you can do. And it started sending me some help and everything. And I appreciate all the help. They really want it to be successful on YouTube. For people who don't know, I don't know why, but they really want to be successful. If you've tried it and say, hey, they've never done that before, I don't know, maybe it's you only getting 1 or 2 people, but they're telling me I'm doing pretty well for just starting this show. They're like, that's unusual for a show to just start. So I appreciate them. We'll continue moving on with your headline news and more, and Brenda Ganske in the final period. Coming up, we're going to take a break. Stay with us. Here's Labor History with Rick Smith. Rick, tell us some more labor history this morning.
This day in labor history, the year was 1946. That was the day the United Electrical Workers joined the National Post-War Strike Way. 200,000 UE members walked off the job at General Electric, Westinghouse, and General Motors Electrical Division. Across the country, reduction of hours and phony job reclassifications led to a 30% wage cut, while years of wartime grievances piled up. All this led to the workers demanding a $2 a day pay raise. Many of these workers were young women on strike for the first time. They had spent much of the war fighting piecework and gender-based divisions of labor. Reports from the picket lines showed overwhelming support among the strikers and from the general public. Older male
I really don't feel like there was nothing but someone who did it.
on the line. At the GE Mazda Lamp Works in Youngstown, Ohio, steelworkers joined women strikers to bolster the picket lines. In Lynn, Massachusetts, signs of women picketers read, "We want to live, not just exist," and "Let the pipes freeze. They don't care if we freeze," in response to maintenance crews being allowed to pass. In Bloomfield, New Jersey, 6 restaurants turned their establishments over to the strikers.
GE President Charles Wilson complained bitterly of the 12,000 or so picketers that blocked the gates of the GE Schenectady plant. Strikers across the country faced violent confrontations and beatings as police on horseback waded through the crowds. Philadelphia strikers retaliated by pouring marbles onto the streets. Workers at GE and Westinghouse would eventually settle for 18 cents an hour, less than what they had hoped for, but more than either company had been willing to give. Management would remain in shock for years at the level of solidarity among the strikers and the community.
Let's see, something costs less, but people are happier with it. That sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call.
They're trying to say the Facebook account.
2 minutes. Very, very smart use of 2 minutes.
Sending too many spam friend requests. I don't have that. Sharing abusive. No, I don't do that. Abusing Facebook advertising. Nope, I don't do that.
Hey everybody, this is Andy Chrisman. Join me this week for a very special year-end edition of Worship as I play 2 hours of the best in modern worship music from churches and worship leaders around the world. And this week we're going to hear some of our favorite songs of 2023 by Leland, John Reddick, Lake Point Worship, Phil Wickham, House Fires, Red Rocks, Gateway, and so much more. You don't want to miss a moment in this week's year-end edition of Worship.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Matt Piper in Manchester, New Hampshire. Even with a loss here, Nikki Haley says she's staying in the race after CBS News projects that former President Donald Trump wins the New Hampshire Republican primary.
I want to thank everybody. This is a fantastic state. This is a great, great state. You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now.
This race is far from over. There are dozens
Story's
of
being
states
told.
left to go.
This is all right.
Already facing pressure from fellow Republicans to drop her bid and unite the party behind Trump. But for now, she says she's still staying in ahead of her own state's primary, South Carolina. That's not for another 4 weeks. I'm Matt Piper in Manchester, New Hampshire. Now with more CBS News, here's Deborah Rodriguez.
The White House is paying close attention to the results in New Hampshire. Correspondent Bob Costa from Manchester.
Tonight's result complicates the Biden campaign strategy. They're now shifting over some of their top strategists from the White House to Wilmington, Delaware, because they're ready for that fight against Trump. But then that fight against Trump now might be pushed back a month or two if Haley really stays in this race.
Just in from Moscow, the Russian military says a transport plane carrying 65 Ukrainian POWs has crashed near the border in western Belgorod. The Defense Ministry says all were servicemen on their way to a planned exchange. The U.S. has taken out 2 more Houthi missiles that were set to attack cargo ships in the Red Sea. Correspondent Charlie Daggett.
Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said the precision strikes were in direct response to a series of escalatory attacks against U.S. and coalition personnel.
A homeowner in upstate Hebron, New York, has been found guilty of second-degree murder after he shot a young woman to death when her boyfriend accidentally pulled into his driveway. She was in the passenger seat. The homeowner claimed his weapon malfunctioned. Assistant District Attorney Christopher Morris.
Kevin Monahan pulled the trigger of his 20-gauge shotgun twice. It did not go off on its own.
A beloved colleague has died. Charles Osgood hosted CBS Sunday Morning for almost 50 years. He regaled us with his stories here on the radio.
Well, today, Mrs. Martin is the proud possessor of a plant that towers like Jack's beanstalk, looks like a tomato plant, and is nicknamed Fred.
CBS's Martha Teichner.
He was just exactly like the person people saw on TV and heard on the radio.
Good morning, everybody. Get on in there.
Nice, and he was very kind, and he was very charming.
His family says Charlie died from dementia. He was 91 years old.
I'll see you on the radio.
WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key. Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
if she did, she would be under investigation by those people in 15 minutes.
While speaking to his
What the heck is wrong with that man?
in South Carolina next month,
And you guys think he's great?
as he clear frontrunner for the party's 2024 presidential nomination. Nikki Haley will stay in the race for the White House after losing the New Hampshire primary to Donald Trump. Trey Thomas reports.
Haley told her supporters the race for the
You
Republican
don't go after somebody like that. You can talk about what you do, but wow.
Saying this race is
This is odd that they didn't give you specifics. No, they didn't.
New Hampshire is first in the nation.
All it says is 24 hours, 23 hours now.
dozens of states left and challenged Trump to a debate. I'm Trey Thomas.
I can get on. I can't even sign into my radio station page now from here, but I can link into my radio station page and add what I need to add, like this. But
The United Methodist Church lost about a quarter of its churches between 2019 and 2023, according to a new report from the DC-based.
nothing on my page I'm looking at is.
Most of those churches leaving the country's largest mainline Protestant denomination expressed dissatisfaction with how the denomination approaches LGBTQ issues. And actor Gary Graham, known for his role in Star Trek Enterprise, is dead.
Somebody's jealous.
Monday from cardiac arrest at a hospital in Spokane, Washington. In addition to playing the Vulcan Ambassador Sobol in the Star Trek franchise, Graham had a number of other television and movie roles dating back to the 1970s. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Buying some pretzel sticks?
Excuse me?
This is your wake-up call from Trackphone Wireless.
Okay.
What if you didn't eat all those pretzel sticks?
Can't follow anything or do anything, buddy.
Good luck.
That's how some wireless companies are with your data, but Trackphone Wireless gives you unlimited carryover data with active service, so you keep what you pay for. Plans start at $20 a month.
Wow, that's cool.
Sir, are you bothering the customers?
Hang on, this is your wake-up call, people. Trackphone
Just for
Wireless.
security checks, all they're saying.
See terms and conditions at
Yeah, I mean, well, no, that ain't all they're saying. That's what the health center says. I sent them a message though, guys. I better have a lot of people on here like I did yesterday, causing me to lose money.
Music trivia and much more. Listen to Hollywood 360 and Radio Rarities whenever you'd like. Visit
I got bills to pay. I'm not doing this to play. I'm not on the Spreaker because I'm playing. See, you can report abuse under these, report problems with Facebook. Okay. So I think somebody might have did something because they were jealous. Let's see here.
Coward the Force is Newman's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowetaforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a top expert in medical, health, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston, your trusted agent.
Sorry about that, guys. We'll get back to the show now.
She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-525-5931. Speak to Charmaine Preston, CP Financial, your top local sales agent.
The Run for Angels of Chicken Coop, February 3rd. 5K, 10K fun run. Fun run 8 a.m. 5K, 10K, 8:30 a.m. Chicken Coop Place, 9:30 a.m. to noon. Drive through or drive in. Noon at First United Methodist Church, 33 Greenville Street. Presented by the Kiwanis Club of Noonan. Run for Angels of Chicken Coop, February 3rd. Be there.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of the Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show. Every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern, you'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Hey, sports fans. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time. WQEE
Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show. Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. That's Braves Country. Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE.
All right, folks, it's that time again, period number 2 on a weird Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great day. I am, except for Facebook's got me being off. I don't understand the 24 hours. They're probably being run by some Karen or Chad there. Anyway, let's kick off number 2. It's RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm the host of most, Ryan O'Neal, of course, and 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast, shout it out loud across that RyanORadio media page. Earth, Rock, Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. We are across the British Columbia, Isles of Canada, and finally the Jordan Communication and Family radio stations, East Alabama, West Georgia, including right here at the heartbeat of Atlanta, Real Radio, 99.1 FM, WQEE the Key. Real radio for real people. I'm not in my mom's basement. This is what I do for a living. This is Real Radio. And we're live also on the YouTube page. Thank you, YouTube, for the nice comments you've been sending me in my email. But Facebook, only on the WQEE key page that I can share from my page, but I can't use my page. I don't understand. Facebook's messed up. Back in a moment. Let's kick it off to my haters. Whether they like it or not, I am the man around here. It seems like Facebook says 24 hours they don't like it. I'm the man around here. And I'm unable to log into my radio station page, but I still can share on there. So you guys are seeing me. And I was able to share the YouTube link over there, thank goodness, and on my RyanORadio YouTube page, Facebook page. But my personal page has been shut down, guys, for 24 hours for unknown reasons. All they did was say, it is shut down for 23 hours, da-da-da-da-da. I don't know what it is. I don't know. They didn't even tell me. It's a jabroni thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe because somebody's jealous. Maybe some horse pill popping lizard flat earther is jealous of me or something. I don't know. I really don't. Because my YouTube page was hitting pretty well the last couple of days, thanks to adding everything together. Actually being able to tag people to come on off the Facebook page onto the YouTube page. YouTube sent me a thing telling me how good it was. Hey, somebody came off now. I'm going to cough. I don't want to hear him complain about Facebook. I love Facebook. They let me be racist. They let me be hateful. They let me say satanic things. They let me talk about a civil war if I want to. You and your listeners want to put cat pictures on saying, how you doing? Have a wonderful day. No, that's evil. I don't know what it is. All right. I really don't. 11 minutes past the hour. 52 degrees, mostly cloudy skies out there, rain in the forecast throughout the day. We'll have a rundown of the forecast in a few. But let's go ahead and kick off number 2, hour 2, with what we do. Headline news. An airplane transporting an unspecific number of people to a diamond mine in northern Canada has crashed, resulting in deaths. The plane crashed Tuesday near a Northwest Territories Fort Smith, a town of 26,000 people along Alberta's northern border. The local health and social service authority said it is active in a massive casualty protocol around 8:50 a.m. The territory's chief said that they released a statement. We cannot confirm that there are fatalities. But we will not provide any additional information pending the next of kin's notification. Wow, sad news there. NATO approves a $1.2 billion bill for artillery. The former President Trump testifies in E. Jen Carroll's, the author's damage trial. It's delayed after the NH primary, the New Hampshire primary. Donald Trump and Joe Biden both win the primaries there. Joe Biden was wrote in. Well, people coming on don't want to. See, this is messing it up. This is what messes it up. I'm mad at Facebook this morning because of what it's doing to my views and stuff. All right, President Joe Biden got wrote in over a couple of different candidates there in New Hampshire, and the former President Donald Trump defeated Nikki Haley by just a little bit of a small margin. So there you go in New Hampshire. She says she will continue to move forward. Many others are asking her to drop her campaign and support the current top candidate, which is the former president. Appeals court rejects the former president's request to lift a gag order on the election case. Shouldn't be talking about that anyway. We're in a new election. Let's move forward. German-based company SAP said Tuesday that the company plans to buy out and restructure more than 7% of its workforce, nearly 108,000. Despite the plans, SAP says it's expected to end 2024 at a headcount similar to the current level. The company is planning to boost itself for future growth that will be fueled in part by the advantages of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is taking care of all these jobs. Yes. I've been telling you guys this. But no. Everybody's like, quit doing what you're doing and do this artificial intelligence job that's going to be taken over next month. Everybody keeps losing their jobs and they keep going, here's a great thing. And then inflation's going on a little bit. But then if you got money in the bank, you're like, I'm not going to use that to pay bills. I was planning on going on a cruise or a vacation. No, dummy. Use it to pay your bills. That's what called a rainy day is about. And these people are going to have a rainy day. So everybody's working for SAP. Start putting up for a rainy day. If you had that vacation coming up, save it in the bank to take care of your home and your family. That's more important than going on a vacation and trying to impress the Joneses. This ain't 1978 anymore. This ain't 1980. The move also comes while a number of other companies are taking similar steps to reduce the number of employees by using artificial intelligence. In 2022, SAP stock rose from the best performance in 2012. And like other companies such as Adobe, Microsoft, and more, SAP is looking more at the cloud-based future. But SAP said it expects an adjusted operating profit from 2020 into 2025 with $10.85 billion in US dollars. That's 10 billion euros, which is 2 billion euros down from the previous year. Tuesday's news comes the company has been launching, ladies and gentlemen, similar jobs and similar moves, including Google, which also has announced further job cuts, Amazon, which is cutting hundreds of jobs at Prime, MGM Studios, and Twitch. Guys, don't think the warehouse jobs are not next. They're working on that. Don't think that. Don't think because they're getting rid of all these jobs that, hey, you went to school and spent all this money that your parents say, hey, take your ass to school, get a degree. Somebody working at McDonald's don't need to make $15 an hour. Well, now I guess they do, huh? Well, that's inflation, and I don't want to spend extra couple of dollars on a Big Mac when I want to go on a cruise or a vacation. Well, you know what? It's a different day and time. You got to start thinking about this day and time and not like it's 20 years ago. Okay? Nothing's going to go down. It's not going to change. Inflation's up and down. It's going to happen. Artificial intelligence is taking over all these jobs. All these people who went to school to get their degrees and computer programming or whatever else, they're starting to lose their jobs. People at Prime Video, MGM Studios, Twitch, people that do these jobs, it's hard jobs, man. It's not easy jobs. And they're replacing them with computers and artificial intelligence. I'm kind of glad that when you call WOW or something to get your bill taken care of, you got to go through 12 different channels to get to one person. Not. But that's Cain, okay? And I'm not talking bad about anybody. I'm just saying that that's the future of all these companies. Google's already laid off some people. They're going to be laying off more people. And people in this world don't seem to understand that. Let me write this down because I got to put this in my tag later on, guys, on YouTube. Google, Amazon, SAP. When I started reading this, I was thinking, what it was, but this is what many companies are doing nowadays. People are losing jobs and people going, oh, there's jobs everywhere, boy. No, there's not. There's not jobs everywhere. Stop it. And then Facebook messing with my algorithms or whatever you call them. Thank you, YouTube, for being very likable. I know some people don't like it because you can't spread the word of the gossip of the lizard people and the flat earth on there. But they're just trying to keep reality on YouTube. All right. Anyway, back to what I was saying. SAP, like many other groups, cutting jobs. Amazon. Don't think that won't go down to the warehouse workers. Everybody thinks, oh, it's a great job to work here, a great job to work here. No, it's not. It's not what you think. If you're going to be in them type of jobs and you tell everybody you don't want to work in a warehouse or a mill, you need to go to school. Well, let's people went to school, and then we're fussing about having to take take this debt down because these people can't pay their schools off. Most of you think most of you are being encouraged by false narratives. I call them lies. Let me call them lies, not false narratives. Lies that it's all people who go to school to learn how to be writing, literature or something. I don't know, arts or whatever. I don't know what you guys think it is, but there's a lot of people who are going to school in computer programming, network assistance and all this. They cannot get jobs. They're unable to get jobs. And this is the truth of the matter. And when they do get jobs, they get fired from these places. Of course, some of these places are giving out good benefits afterwards and everything. But yeah, okay, here's a great package. Well, these people got to think about every day that they go in. Will I have a job? Will I be one of the lucky people to keep my job? Well, what you need to do is start putting up for a rainy day. Instead of putting up for that vacation to go to Panama City, Florida, or go on a cruise to try and impress the Joneses or whatever you're going to do, you need to keep that money for a rainy day. When you spend that money on this stuff, people are like, yeah, but what about these people who work in these businesses? Hey, if Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk can go on a cruise, they can. People like that can. Millionaires, people with lots of money, let them do it. They'll take care of that industry. They got the money to do that. I'm just saying that regular everyday folks out here that don't know whether their next paycheck's coming, whether they're going to keep their job, whether their college degree is going to get them another job, that they need to start thinking ahead. This is why you always have somebody tell you to plan and think ahead. But people are like, no. The youth don't think ahead. They hop from job to job. Well, you're not thinking from ahead when you're thinking that, well, I worked for 20 years and 30 years and 40 years, and when I retire, I'm going to go on a cruise. Well, that money that you got in the bank is called for a rainy day. It's not for just to go out here and do what you want to do. And then these people complain about what's going on in the pandemic that shut down our world and called inflation the last couple of years. And they want to complain about it and say that, well, we need to go down on prices. Well, I agree with you. I want to go down on prices, but do you really think that right now going on vacation is the best idea for you? And if you can afford to go on vacation and pay your bills, then you shouldn't be complaining about inflation. Where you got people that are working at Amazon, Google, SAP, and so many, Adobe, Microsoft, these people are losing their jobs to artificial intelligence. Do you think they're going to think about going on a vacation? No, they're thinking about, well, what do I got in my savings account? Maybe I need to put some more in that savings account while I'm working. Maybe we need to downgrade our life right now and, instead of getting the name brand pinto beans, let's get the store-bought brand pinto beans and make pinto beans and cornbread at home instead of going out to nice fancy dinners, because I'm going to probably have to save this money for long run, because these people, these people are working these businesses. They have nice homes, nice cars, and their kids are going to school. So they got to think about things like that. And it's sad that AI is not, that there's only going to be a few computer experts that are going to know how to get in there and work with AI. They really are. There's a lot of young people today to be like, I can control AI. It's not going to control me. A lot of young people, but we don't think like that. A lot of us don't. But a lot of these people that are these crucial jobs here, they're in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. They went to school. They got a degree in this so that they could have a good job. And then now in 2024, look what happens. We get ourselves a artificial intelligence taking over. And nobody feels sorry for them. Like I said, if you got money to go to pay all your bills, and if you lose your job and you still got money to pay your bills and nothing savings that you can go on vacations and pay your bills and live a long, prosperous life, do whatever you want to do. But if you don't, you need to start thinking about that savings account needs to be called what it is, a savings account, not that's my vacation account. And there's people who don't think for themselves like that. And then they want to blame everybody else for the loss of everything. No, we have to take responsibility. We're creating artificial intelligence, which is taking over 98% of the jobs out there. Every time you call on the phone, get your Medicaid, Medicare, your phone bill, your cable bill, whatever. You don't even get to talk to a real person unless you press through 500 different things. Every time my phone gets updated, I have never spoke but twice to my phone dealer and to a live person in the last, and it might have been something that it was 24 hours and they're like, okay, it's going to come on. Don't worry about it. Be on. Might have been something I had put in wrong or whatever I'd done, or whatever I did with my phone or whatever it was on my end. I talked to them twice. Most of the time I deal with artificial intelligence. Most of the time you deal with artificial intelligence on most of the stuff you're dealing with. That means there's less jobs out there. That doesn't mean these people are lazy. That means these people are living. And no, everybody's not going socialist and all this imaginary conspiracy theory. It's just the way our society is. You got to learn to work within the system, which is the artificial intelligence. The movie industry, the reason they were on strike. Maybe we don't like a lot of the movies. I don't like a lot of stuff that comes out in the last several years. I can be honest with that. But there's people that work in the industry. What's wrong with it? They want to take these people's images and use their likenesses in every single thing. This was what the big to-do union strike was. Ryan is a robot. He's not a real boy. Laugh out loud, Andrew Juanis. You're going to have to share all this on all the other pages because they got me locked out for 24 hours on my personal page for some reason. Maybe because I was going up and somebody that sits around spreading conspiracy theories from their mom's basement or somebody's basement that don't work for a real radio station might have reported me. I don't like it, man. I'm a flat earth lizard person lover who thinks Alex Jones is telling the truth. That boy over there's got more viewers than me because YouTube's telling him he's doing good. No. We can't have that. Not at all. We have to stop him. We have to report it. So, Andrew, if you look at that, you're probably going to have to share it for it. But no, that's what's going on. And for people to think that you can just walk out here and get a job like you did 20 years ago, stop. You're living in the past. You are living in the past. You are living in the past. Everything is taken over by artificial intelligence. Now, I think the youngsters, the generation, I think that the millennials and the Generation Zs and the next generation, they're going to be able to cope with this. They're going to be able to say, hey, I know how to control AI. I'm pretty sure I know 3 in my family that probably could control it. I'm going to be like, hey, could you show me how to control this thing? Because I know you're smart at this. Yeah, I got a degree in the computer, but I know how to set them up and stuff, but I don't know how to control an AI. Oh, man, that's simple. You just have to do the algorithm of the... They'll be going, Ryan, you just got to go. Okay, well, we'll just take and do the algorithm, and you got to go. With one hand, they'll be... on the computer. I'll be like, what the heck are you doing on the... And look, they don't even do that anymore. They'd be like doing this. you're not using the board. That's 2021. I mean, that's 2012, Ryan. What's wrong with you? But yeah, don't think it's not going to trickle down to other jobs. People don't think it, but it does. There's a lot of jobs that no longer exist, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of jobs that no longer exist. Think about that. Go back and look up some jobs that long. Look it up for yourself on the Facebook, not on Facebook, but Google jobs that don't exist anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Google them for yourself. I'm telling you, things like that happen. I've been telling you, I told you stuff that happened with the FCC. We told you about the real Epstein's list. I've told you the FCC's taking over the internet and they're starting to put FCC regulations on all these people. Spotify getting rid of people because of FCC regulations. They're not following those and really kind of telling them, oh yeah, it's just because you're only getting 8 downloads. No, they don't care. Spotify don't care if you only get 1 download at a time. If you're on there and you're paying to be on there, they don't care. But they're pulling people off. Why? Because of regulations. I've been telling you all this, guys, but nobody listens until it finally comes to the end. Now I'm telling you that AI is taking every single job out there. And like I said, why do you think the actors union and the Hollywood went to strike? Yeah, maybe not a lot of great movies and all out, but it's because they want to use somebody's image. They want to take one extra, use their image in like 3,000 different movies. And you can take somebody's picture and you can put different clothing. And you can put 1800 clothing on it. You can put futuristic clothing on it. And you can have them walking in the same direction and everything. Why do you think that they went through all that hassle last year to make sure that people would have jobs and they could not use their images and their likenesses? But Amazon and all them, Amazon Prime Video, MGM Studios was getting rid of people. SAP, Amazon, Google, and everybody, they're letting people go. Microsoft, they're letting people go because AI is the future. Back in a moment, 30 minutes past the hour, we're going to talk about a virus, a new virus. But don't worry, it'll be a long time. It's frozen. Now, climate change people might go, well, we might get that pretty soon. You never know. A new pandemic could be coming in the near future. Not in our future, but in the near future. Back in a moment. Tag as many people as you can, Andrew. Don't tell them I'm a robot. That's not what grows. My nose does not grow. Make sure you tag a lot of people in that too. All right, let's see here. I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth today. I always tell the truth. Other people think that Ryan wants to be a real boy someday. I am a real boy. I'm a real man. Andrew Kiwanis. Sure is nice that Facebook messed up today.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a top expert in medical, health, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine Preston. Your trusted
Tap your shoes together and say, there's no place like home.
She works with multiple companies, ensuring the best option just for you. Don't miss out on the chance to make the right choice for your financial future. 706-5.
I don't know. I don't know where home is where the heart is. I don't know where that is.
CP Financial, your top local sale agent.
God, I need more. Tapping my shoes and go on. It didn't work. I will be a real boy one day. I am a real man now. No, just because I sound like this is the way radio personalities are supposed to sound. They're not supposed to sound like, hey, what's up, Sheriff? Thank you for joining us from Iowa. I can't get on my Facebook. They got me everywhere. I can go share everywhere else, but I can't share on my personal Facebook because they won't give me an excuse, but I got 23 hours of down time there for community standards. I know I bring everybody down. I talk all kind of conspiracy theories, lizard people and flat earth. Not.
Sunday, January 28th, Hollywood Haley J is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Plus, the return of James Ellsworth.
That's right, MemphisWrestling.tv. Teddy Long will be there on Sunday too. Peanut Head at Memphis Wrestling. Check it out on TV 18 and Roku. I know I shouldn't be so naughty, right? I don't know what I did. I put regular news in there. I never have anything else. At least YouTube likes me. I made Mark Zuckerberg mad. I sent him a message. He's going to give me some money. Yes, if Zuckerberg costs me money on the Facebook today, I'm going to take it out of his bank account. That's what I should do. All right, guys, we're on the YouTube page. We're on our WQEE page. We're on the Shoutcast. We're on the RyanORadio page. We're all over the Navajo Nation, on the Earth Rock Radio, and more. But the only page, and we're on the RyanORadio Penitentiary Facebook page, the WQEE Facebook page. The only one I'm not on this morning is my personal one. I don't know why. I've been so naughty. Good morning to Cher joining us from Iowa. Anna Marie and the Noonan Dance. I didn't do that. Andra Pilatus, my lovely bride's own. Thank her. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. We got a few things we want to talk about. It is a weird Wednesday, and this is going to be perfect. Brenda Ganske coming up in the final period. We're going to talk about some strange and unknown stuff that stains the history books with the unknown. Ooh. Get ready for class. Professor Ganske's on the way. Get your pens and papers ready. School's in session. Horrifying History 101 is next. All right. We're about 36 minutes past the hour. We're holding about 54 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies. Oh, well, actually, mostly cloudy. A little rain out there in the Atlanta, metro Atlanta areas. Raining up in Tennessee as well as in South Carolina and North Florida. There you go. In Alabama, getting it as well. We don't go as, I'm not going to tell you over there in Mississippi. There's something weird over there. Probably Mississippi people, me picking on them, got mad. All right. In Siberia, could a frozen Siberia zombie virus be on its way? It could be. It could be. You just never know. A new pandemic. But you and I won't have to worry about that. And I'm putting this out there because I know people, will turn this into, people that read this are going to turn this in conspiracy nuts on their YouTube, not on the YouTube, but on their podcast that Spotify won't share anymore, are going to give you lies. This is from a scientific approach. Dr. Edward, I hope you're still on with us this morning, my friend. Hope I didn't get too mad and run you off now that he's watching. Dr. Edward, and he still hasn't told me where he's from, where he's at. All right. Virus trapped in a frozen state for thousands of years could potentially thaw out and affect modern humans. Probably something good. Yeah. The next pandemic is not coming from China's wet market or secret government laboratory, which we already know that's what happened, but from the deep within the Siberian permanent frost. Ooh, scientists have warned. This so-called zombie virus could lay dormant for thousands of years and then become active again once thawed out by the rising global temperatures. Oh yeah. Y'all zombie apocalypse is coming like you want it. At the moment, analyzing the pandemic threats focuses on diseases that might emerge in the southern region and then spread northern, according to a scientist by the name of Jean Michael Clever. Say that. Jean Michael Clever. Say that. By contrast, little attention has been given to an outbreak that might emerge in the far north and travel south. That's the oversight. Oh, I love it. I love it. There are viruses up there that have potential to infect humans and start a new disease outbreak. Let's do it. It's going to be a long time. That's why I'm doing the jokes, guys. Don't worry. We'll be dead then. Well, thank you for blowing on the horn there. I appreciate that. What's going on there? Give me a little blow on the horn again. Thank you. Got people listening here. To combat this, scientists are preparing to set up a new system and a network system to identify outbreaks from ancient microorganisms that have emerged from the ice. Such viruses can be potentially dangerous to modern humans if they are exposed to them, and current medications may have only limited effect. Oh, yeah. Thank you for blowing the horn there. What's more, studies have shown that the ancient viruses are capable of infecting living cells, and one case research identified as a virtual strand that was almost 50,000 years old. But they said we have to assume something like this could happen. Oh, you can have a zombie apocalypse. As a Christian, it just makes me laugh. That's what I do. But anyway, the zombie apocalypse brought to you by JFK Jr. and the Lizard People. Or a communist plot. Anna Marie. That's what she said. You guys don't come get me. She isn't Noonan though. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna send them to your house, Anna Marie. No, I'm just kidding. She makes the best spaghetti around, by the way, she says. At least that's what her husband says. You guys can fight about the zombie apocalypse and have spaghetti with sausage in it and meatballs. Guys, they're also saying in this same article that it's going to be a long time before this happens. So this could happen. But this is a virus that they're studying right now. And the reason they're studying it is just in case something happens 200 years, 300 years from now, that they already know how to combat it. So it's smart for our scientists, like Dr. Edwards on here, he's the father of physics, and people like that, to do these jobs to kind of, I've got a father of physics to watch the show and listen to the show. Wow, it's amazing. But for them to do this kind of thing, it amazes me because it makes me feel happy that they are getting ahead of something like this, because we got ancestors down the road. It's not going to affect you and I this day and time. And I know that people are like, won't be long, Dad, before that comes happening, boy, so I don't really care. But actually, I do care about my ancestors down the road. So, and look, what if we come up with a new way to freeze ourselves so we can live in 200 years from now? That's right, 200 years from now, stay away from my home. It's only a rumor that I'm a good cook. Yeah, but 200 years from now, we can freeze and wake up in a frozen state, We could wake up in a frozen state and live in the future like Fry from what is that show? Futurama. He went further into the future than that, but I'm just saying. Cher says, bullies. They're not going to bully you. You'll let us smack down on them. All right, you guys, this is Weird Wednesday. We're about 17 minutes away from the top of the hour. Currently still holding at 55 degrees, mostly cloudy and rainy skies in the metro Atlanta area. Time and temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street here in the metro Atlanta area of Newnan. Let's jump back into it. Florida man. This is for the Florida man on there. Now, they can't see me on my page, but they usually could. But they can see it on other pages. This is for your Florida man and Florida women. If you think you're having a bad day, spare a thought for this guy. Florida man injured by exploding toilet in a branch of the Dunkin' Donuts. This doesn't make me want to make Dunkin' Donuts. Time to make the donuts. That would make us zombies then. Us being zombies, if we're frozen, we might still be alive, but we won't be zombies. But if you're a zombie, you're going to get killed because Negan's going to knock your head off with a baseball bat. And Daryl's going to shoot you. I mean, come on. Anyway. A little Walking Dead humor there for you Walking Dead fans out there. If you think you're having a bad day, listen to this guy. According to reports, Paul, we're just going to call him Paul, had been in the men's room at a Florida branch of the Dunkin' Donuts back in 2022. From out of nowhere, one of the toilets exploded right next to him. Whoa, you know what that means? Somebody went in there and messed that toilet up before Paul even came in. Messed the toilet next to him up. Shocked and drenched in toilet water and covered from head to toe in debris and other things. The unfortunate man staggered out of the toilet in an attempt to find the branch manager, who said, "Whoa, this dude stinks, get out of my store." No, I'm just kidding. Legal papers later filed against the company noted that the manager told him that they had been aware of problems with that particular toilet, but seemingly hadn't done anything about it. Oh, man, just don't use it, man. Just leave it alone, man. Poor Paul, stay away from them donuts and the donut toilets. Man, we know there's a problem with that toilet. Just don't use it. We all don't use it. If you got to sit down, go to a different toilet. Paul is now seeking $100,000 in damages, having suffered severe and long-term injuries, which left him requiring mental health care and counseling. You know what? Give him his money. I mean, if you had poop all over you, let's say it in a nice way. If you had poop all over you, you guys know there's other words for it too. I know what you're thinking. Poop, dookie, the S word. If you got that on you, of course you're going to have some mental health problems. You come out of the bathroom. All you were doing was get a good cup of coffee and a jelly donut. You go in to use the bathroom. You're like, man, my stomach's hurting from eating over there at Taco Bell before I came in here. Exactly what sort of technical fault could cause a toilet to literally explode remains unclear, but as it stands, it was possessed. It was possessed with poltergeist like in that movie. It doesn't sound like Dunkin' Donuts has a leg to stand on, legally speaking. The lawsuit remains ongoing. I know what was wrong with this, possessed like in that movie. Oh, Lord. I got some more strange news for you. Demon toilet. Demon toilet. Demon toilet. Yeah. That sounds like a punk rock band or a death metal band. We're going to see Demon Toilet, man. Yeah. Cher sounding like old Charlie Brown over here. Oh, good grief. I know. Doesn't make you want to go on a Dunkin' Donut, does it? Well, that's Florida. We're staying in Florida. One resident of a small Florida town was dismayed to discover that someone had made off with her entire driveway. Look, you know, this comment come knocking on your door and say, hey, man, we got some leftover stuff. We were working down the street here, putting in somebody's, working down the street here, putting in the walk and putting in the, the sidewalk here. We got a little extra left for you can we do your driveway? You know, those wonderful people that paint it. Well, this guy was like one of those. It's not an unusual story to hear of scammers targeting homeowners, but this is the first time we ever heard of workmen showing up outside of someone's house and literally stealing their entire driveway. Not long after putting her house up for sale, Amanda, we're just going to call her by her first name, noticed that someone had turned up outside her property with a tape measure. When she asked why they were there, the contractor told her that a man named Andre had inquired about replacing the concrete outside the home. Okay. The work ultimately didn't go ahead, and because the contractor had no demand proof of ownership, while Andre, whoever he was, maintained the whole thing had been a simple misunderstanding, this would seem to have been the end of it, right? Wrong. 1 week later, Amanda looked out her window and found the workmen had arrived in her garden and were digging up her driveway with that digger. By the time the police arrived, the men had completely removed the entire thing. Fortunately, once word in the incident hit the local news, Amanda was able to raise enough funds for someone to replace her driveway. That woman right there, she won't pay us. We're just going to take her driveway from her. So she won't pay us to paint this thing and rip her off. You know, thieves are just getting bold nowadays. They come up to your door, they rip you off, they want to give you concrete. If you want to do it, they take your driveway. If you won't do it, they take your driveway with you. They run for Congress on the Republican and Democrat side. I mean, they're just crooks. They're just bold in 2024. Cher says, that's crazy. I know, right? I know. Oh, we're going to take a short break. Back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I have another couple of stories that end up going to the top of the hour. Get your pens and papers ready. That is just the pre-testing. We've got Horrifying History coming up with Brenda Ganske and period number 3 this morning. She joins us in the final period. So get ready for that. So don't you dare move away from that radio dial. Weird, huh? People are evil, man. We go from the zombie virus to the toilet that explodes on you. I know, man. That toilet exploded all over me. I know what I need to do.
Our interest rates are better than any other companies, and we also have some great products for the VA. We can do a better deal for you with fees than any other company. We have a lot of different kind of programs.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul.
I gotta go undo the. I gotta open the door. Nobody's here. I don't know why. Got the doc coming in. I'll be right back.
on WQEE The Key. We got the hottest new show coming to you live, The Jet Stream. Tune in every Saturday on your 9 a.m. morning drive.
Shenyang Performing Arts invites you to travel to the magic world of ancient China. Experience a lost culture brought to life with incredible classical Chinese dance, magical scenery, and soul-stirring music. Shenyang. Coming to River Center for the Performing Arts, January 23rd only. Tickets at shenyang.com/Columbus-GA or call 877-285-7469.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of The Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1
With the
FM.
Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has recommended that airlines operating older Boeing 737 jets inspect door plugs to ensure that they are properly secured. Regulators have stepped up scrutiny on Boeing after a January 5th mid-air panel blowout on an 8-week-old Alaska Airlines MAX 9 jet. U.S. crude futures rose about 3% on Monday as traders saw oil supply tightening due to conflicts in the Middle East. And
We're coming back shortly.
Extreme North American cold weather. The U.S. and U.K. have conducted further rounds of strikes against Houthi targets. The second time in a month, the two countries have bombed Yemen together in an attempt to stop the rebel group targeting shipping in the southern Red Sea. Sunoco said on Monday it would acquire fuels storage and pipeline operator New Star Energy in a deal valued at $7.3 billion, including debt. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hello, everyone. This is DJ Commando of a 45's Affair radio show.
Good morning, Horrifying History, Brenda. Getting ready to get spooky, yes. You would have been all over my Facebook page, too, with all the people that tagged. We had lots of people, but Facebook didn't like me. WQEE.
Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm all right. I already did my first round of shoveling, so I'm good to go.
All right. Well, hold on one second. Let me finish out this hour, and then we'll be ready to go.
Cool.
All right. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. Good morning. Good morning. We got Brenda Ganske and Horrifying History. We're going to get spooky here with her. Remember, that's coming up in the next period. Professor Brenda Ganske joins us. Horrifying History 101. One more newsworthy note before we get ready to head out. A yogurt company is offering to pay you guys $10,000 to participate in what they're calling a digital detox. What they do is they'll send you a lockbox to place your phone in, give you a flip phone with a month's worth of that you won't miss your calls or whatever, things like that. And they're going to give you $10,000, 3 months worth of their yogurt and a flip phone and a few other things that you're going to be added to it. All you got to do is go to their website, and their website is Signy Yogurt. Signy Yogurt. Siggi. Ooh, I might do that. I might get my phone up for a month. I don't know. All right, back in a moment. Stay with us. All righty, we're getting ready to go on in a minute. So now that you did your shoveling, I got to do my shoveling, and it's Facebook. They got me on a.
Exciting over in your guys' land. Especially it's warm, right?
I got 24 hours of off Facebook for some reason.
Oh, you went to jail.
I don't know what I did. I don't never do anything.
Oh, well, we know you're secretly problematic.
Oh, I know. I'm down the middle. I get along with everybody. I never push conspiracy theories about elections or non-elections. I never call people names. Oh, I'm such a bad person.
It's really just, I have no idea how the the algorithms work. And I would love to find out someday, because you see some people getting banned for things that are just completely insane. And then you have people that post stuff and they just can post whatever the heck they want and they're fine.
I know.
Doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Like I have a friend of mine, he's constantly in Facebook jail. So he actually, now the reason is, does he post some things that kind of pushes some buttons? Yes. But it's not necessarily direct. And he's one of those that you would think that wouldn't go to Facebook jail. So you know what he did to beat the jail?
What?
He has 5 different profiles, and when he gets locked up on one, he just jumps to the other.
See, I don't have time for all that. I mean, I can share all this stuff on my RyanORadio Penitentiary page, Facebook page. I share it on the WQEE radio page. I can share it on every other page. I'm just down 22, and I went on there and looked and said, "What did I do?" And they didn't give me an explanation.
I don't even worry about social media. And that's the weird thing, considering what I do, and I'm on social media. I tried to have a conversation with a person recently, and I said, do you realize, for lack of better terms, not a lot that you see out there is necessarily the full truth. It's someone's idea of the truth, or it is a opinion, but it's not the truth. I said, because she was upset about, okay, it's going to sound so weird. It was a post that somebody put in like a little unlike emoji, and she just spiraled horribly about it. And I'm like, well, what does an unlike matter in the big scheme of things? And I said, we have a war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
We have a war over in Israel.
Yep.
Thousands of people are dead. Who cares about a little unlike?
Well, I'm on this YouTube. I'm on this YouTube now, and the last couple of days has been very well. And even YouTube has sent me a nice little message telling me how well I'm doing. And then all of a sudden today,
me actually, they don't like me.
But I guess they like that my content's down the middle and everything, and the variety of stuff that I have. I've never had a problem with YouTube. I've never had a problem with Facebook. I just don't know if somebody reported me or said that they just didn't like what I was doing. They were jealous. I don't know what it was, because I went back and looked at all my posts, and I'm like, the only thing I got on there is I got a journalist that tags me on Motley Crue posts. Now, how talking about Motley Crue having problems?
Well, you do know Tommy Lee is problematic.
Yeah, I mean, Mick Mars suing the band for his fair share of the money is not a terrible news story. And then everything else I have on there is just my radio show, and they've never had a problem with it before. So I'm just
wondering if there's a way to go into your settings and to be able to see if there was any blocks or something put on.
No. Normally it pops up and tells me this story is not going to go on because of so and so. I share stories on the radio station page all the time, and it pops up and says, "Don't share this story." It could, and then I won't share the story. There must be something in it or something, or they won't share the story. They never stop me from sharing things. So I always have something that pops up that tells me if something's going wrong on any of my pages. I mean, I guess I went in and did that. There's something you can go and do to them to let you know before you put something on. Because I never wanted to put anything on. I don't have time for my page to be messed up. It's a portion of what I do for my work. I don't do my personal page. My personal page is for me not to sit there and argue with somebody else. Or, I don't go on my pages just for fun. Social media is part of my work. I mean,
and that's what a lot of people don't realize when it comes to me is, you see a social media presence, but that's kind of my job.
Yeah.
Right? And so do I spend a lot of time on social media off that? No. I'm like the least trolliest person on the planet. But because again, realistically, you have negative coming in. I have negative coming in. That's just the nature of the world. You see some of that coming in. A simple unlike doesn't bug you anymore. But it does cause problems when things get blocked. Like, I know people out there that literally just go and report people, and they've done nothing wrong.
Well, it could have been somebody that did that was jealous of my remarks and stuff going up, or me going up and not spreading their stuff. But by the way, we got a father of physics that's listening to this show. I got a doctor that's now listening to me. Good morning, Dr. Edward. And so we have a educated man listening. Yeah, I'm in trouble. I don't know about you. You'll be all right, Brenda. But I don't.
You might need actually a pencil and a paper because you might have to map this out a little bit.
There you go.
Just a little bit.
I don't think you're gonna have to worry, but he's been with me all week long, and I appreciate him. He's been coming up with some good questions too. He's been coming up with some good questions all week.
Well, I'm curious of what's going to happen with this one. I was going to say this on air, and I still will. This story idea came from my mom.
Oh, really? Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, she's a supporter of mine.
You're going to see that the apple did not fall far from the tree in a few minutes. But when she said this to me, I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. And then I dug into it, and I'm like, damn. Now I know where I got it from.
Well, there you go. It tells you a lot about yourself. Now you know. You're like, well, I guess my mom and I are a lot closer than I thought.
Yep. And I'll explain how she got this story to me. I thought it was hilarious. Because you got to understand, my mom's 78.
Okay.
So it's not like she's, a spring chicken. So that's why when she sent it to me over social media, I had to laugh.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom's she says she's not very Facebook savvy, but she is.
Oh, I'm sure she is. Oh man, I'm trying to get your questions up here, and my internet is being slow. Yes.
Well, next time I come, next month, I'm going to have something to report back to you on. You know where I'm going to be literally in 1 week from today?
Where?
I have reservations for Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum in Vegas.
Oh, really?
I even paid for the VIP tour just so I could get to those extra rooms that probably have nothing in it. That is a waste of my time and money. But if I'm going, I want to see some haunted stuff.
Oh, Zach will make something up if he can't get something real.
Exactly. Well, allegedly he has the Jack Kevorkian death band. He has the book box, all that stuff. So I will get my report next time.
All right, sounds good. And then you can say, look, it was great, or don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. It's not like Zach doesn't have enough. Here was my ethical thing behind it, by the way. I literally said to my husband, I have to go to this. Have to. I don't want to give him any of my money. He's got enough of people's money, and, well, I'm not his biggest fan. But he got this stuff, and I kind of have to see it. So, ethically, I have to give up my little feelings on this and just go to the museum and throw him way too much money to go into this museum. It's expensive, but it's Vegas, right?
Right. It is. I live there, I know.
Yeah, Vegas is a little expensive, but and then of course my husband's like, "Are you wanting me to go?" Oh yeah, yes I do. Fine.
You wanted me to go? Okay. I'll spend time at the museums. You spend time at the museum.
You're getting a free T-shirt out of it.
Well, he probably wants to go to the casinos.
No, him and I are not gamblers, believe it or not.
Really?
Now,
well, good.
I've only actually threw about $1 into a slot machine. I usually go for shows and stuff like that. But
well, good, because that means
it was funny. When I was a kid, my mom didn't like playing cards, so she never taught us really any card games. So my grandma, my dad's mom, taught us some card games.
Right.
It wasn't until I went to Vegas for the first time that I actually realized what she taught me was blackjack with all the rules.
Well, I got a buddy.
Cleaned up.
I got a buddy out there that used to work for the casinos, and he owns a magic shop now and a little small local radio station. And he used to work for the casinos back in the day when they were owned by the mob. So he told some mob stories on the show here before. It's a little too early for him to come on now, but if I ever get a later show, the show moves into a later time slot, then he'll be able to come back on. But He's got a book out and everything about all the stuff that went on in Vegas out there. So
I can imagine. I can only just imagine.
I loved it. I loved talking about it. It's cool talking about the real deal, real tough people. Real people knew what they were doing, the mob, compared to all these wannabes today. All these Proud Boys and all these people.
And you know what? Let's be honest, the mob dressed a little better with their fedoras and their pinstripe suits. They kind of did it right back when they started Vegas.
They did. All right, we're getting ready to go on. It's the final period of play, ladies and gentlemen. It is a weird Wednesday. You know what that means. That's right. We're going to go inside Horrifying History 101 this morning. Our special guest in just a few. She's the professor of horrifying history. Brenda Ganske's on the way. But first, let's kick it off, Triple H. It's RyanORadio Penitentiary. You guys are in lockdown women this morning. The one, the only Rhino, Neal, and... Yes, I am the game. 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast Shout It Out Loud across that RyanORadio media page. Earth, Rock Radio, Arizona, New Mexico, and the Navajo Nation. Real radio and internet radio out there too. That's right. We're across the British Columbia Isles of Canada. And finally, the Jordan Communication of Family Radio Stations, East Alabama, West Georgia, including right here at the heartbeat of Atlanta, 99.1 FM, WQEE, the key, home of Southern Sports, Inspirational Talk. We're live all day, real radio for real people, and the RyanORadio Penitentiary is in lockdown. This hour, we told you, we go inside the Horrifying History classroom. We're going to learn more. Get your pens and papers ready. And to my haters, well, I got one thing to say. Listen up to this, haters. Tell them, Triple H, what I'm thinking. That's right. Whether they like it or not, I am the man around here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Weird Wednesday guest at the end of the month, every month. She joins us. She is the creator, the host of the Horrifying History Podcast, where you stay spooky, where she stains the pages of history with the blood of the unknown, the supernatural, and more. Please welcome the professor of horrifying history and the professor of staying spooky, the one, the only, Brenda Ganske. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. And how am I ever going to beat that intro? I don't even know how I can actually live up to that great intro.
Well, I appreciate it. I always have to do that. All my great guests always have something about them that gives them that little over the topness. So I appreciate that. But I know you can live up to it because you are the professor of horrifying history. And every month we always get a lesson that we learn and people come out of it with, man, really that happened? So,
is it a lesson or is it trauma? I'm not really sure.
A little bit of both.
I think so. That's what makes a good radio show. A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Well, before we get into anything and dive into today's lesson, how was your holidays? How was Christmas and everything?
Christmas was really good. Now, it's going to sound a little insane.
Okay.
I got exactly what I wanted from Santa Claus. I just never guess what this is.
What is it? What'd you get from him?
I got one of those hydroponic growing stations. So I am literally in my spare room, like my guest room, growing lettuce right now. That'll tell you how much of a nerd I actually am. Every day I go in and check my lettuce.
Well, hey, lettuce and tomatoes, and you just start growing stuff. I mean, I'm sure.
I have lettuce, tomatoes, and basil right now.
Oh, my goodness. I bet your husband's like, look, keep growing things, Brenda. I don't have to go to the grocery store and buy anything.
Well, actually, it just makes me happy because I look out the window and I see all the snow and I'm like, still have tomatoes. Life is good.
Yeah, you still have a garden inside where most people have a garden outside. And that's a good idea to have a garden inside, year round. You just gave us another great idea, Brenda.
Well, you have to thank my husband for that, as I'm literally taking pictures of it every day. He's at work, and I'm like, look, my tomato, it grew like a millimeter. It's huge.
And he's like,
really, you're enjoying this thing way too much.
He'll text you back and say, look, make sure you take that. I want it for dinner tonight. Now I need a tomato sandwich. So. I want a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich or whatever. He's like, I want that tonight.
Well, those are fabulous, we must say.
There you go. Along with that gumbo you make. Make the gumbo and the bacon and lettuce and tomato sandwich. That's what he wants for dinner.
You know, it was actually funny you brought that up because a friend of mine actually messaged me and said to me this week, I'm craving gumbo. Mike, is that a hint?
I think that's a hint. I think they're wanting you to make some.
I think it's a hint.
I think it's a hint. Yeah. What you should do is make some gumbo and hide it. And then when they come over, you're like, well, look, I've got some tomatoes and lettuce and stuff. So I decided to make you a BLT. And they'll be like, I thought we were having gumbo. No, I'm having gumbo.
I'll just give him a container that's frozen. Here, take it off.
Yeah, here you go. Take it off. Oh man, well, it's good to know that you got something for Santa that you wanted. You know, a lot of people didn't get what they wanted from Santa. Well, let's get into it this morning. We're going to talk about the worst woman on earth. And no, we're not talking about anybody in politics. But let's get into the list this morning.
Ryan, here's what happened.
All right.
A couple months ago, my mom sent me an article from a Facebook group that I'm not part of over Messenger. And it's called Lizzie Halliday, the Worst Woman on Earth.
Wow.
Since I wasn't part of that group, I couldn't see the article. I was intrigued, but I didn't want to be part of another group, right?
Right.
So I asked my mom what this was about, and then she, of course, being the smarty pants she is, and I inherited that from her, I think, she just replied back, Lizzie Halliday, the worst woman on earth. I'm like, very funny. But I'm like, seriously, do you want me to look into this? And she said she did.
Okay.
Now, when I did, and I dug into this, I realized, wow, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree here. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, how could I not look into an alleged woman named Lizzie Halliday, who is said to be the worst woman on earth? Like, think about that title.
Right.
Worst woman on earth? So, Ryan, at the end of today,
Okay.
I want you to tell me, do you think that Lizzie Halliday is worthy of the title of the worst woman on earth?
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So before we get started, I actually have to take a little bit of a left here, and I need to tell you about female serial killers. If that's not a hint of what's going to happen, I don't know what is.
Yeah,
But
yes.
historically, we have had female serial killers, but the thing is, society historically just didn't acknowledge them. And now it's time for my opinion. I think part of that has to do with a bias that was out there historically, that a soft-hearted woman wouldn't kill, and the other part is due to how women kill. So women serial killers don't normally kill in the same way that a man does. They are most often described as a quiet killer. In over 50% of cases, women use more devious techniques like poison and suffocation, and they tend to kill people that they know, like their families or their coworkers. Now, this helps draw a lot less attention than a murder spree, which seems to be more popular with men. This also allows for a woman serial killer to kill over a longer stretch of time than their male counterparts before they get caught. Now, the biggest difference between a male and a female serial killer statistically tends to be motive. According to many different experts in this field, women are often driven by money. Research shows that over 52% of female serial killings are financial based, and that the victims know their own killers. Studies also show that beliefs about women being serial killers demonstrated misogynistic ideologies, and that's what I said before,
Right.
that women are just too soft-hearted to kill.
Oh, yes.
Now, history proves this to be far from fact.
What?
Now, women do kill, and it's really a deadly mistake to think they don't. And I think that this is why Lizzie Halliday was able to get away with what she did for so long. Now, now you're kind of getting the feel of what we're going to talk about in a minute, aren't you?
I love it. Yes.
Okay. So her name actually started out as Eliza Margaret McNally Halliday, and she was born sometime between 1859 to 1864 in Northern Ireland. Records differ concerning when she and her family moved to the United States, with documents stating anything from the age of 3 to 8 years old. It was soon after this that Lizzie possibly started down the path of criminality. While she was still a teenager, Lizzie married a man who was named Keckspool Brown, who went by the name of Charles Hopkins. I'll explain the difference.
Okay.
He was a deserter from the British Army, and he was having an affair with a married housekeeper when the two met. So soon after these two got involved, when she was teen, that housekeeper was found dead beside a bottle of poison. Her death was ruled a suicide, and Charles and Lizzie were married. Now, the two had a son got together who was named Charles Jr. right before Charles died in 1879 after the couple was married for only 2 years. But Lizzie wasn't single for very long. 2 years after this, she married a man named Artemus Brewster. Now, Artemus was a wounded Civil War veteran who married Lizzie in 1884. He died less than a year later. People presume that he died because he did have several different ailments, but it was later suspected he was actually poisoned by Lizzie, who used this old man's medication to do it, his own pain meds. As was said by the New York Times later on, and I quote, "Whether these men died natural deaths or were murdered is not known. But what is known is that at this point of her life, Lizzie already had a type." So, what do you think her type was, Ryan?
Maybe a gentleman with money.
You are right. She liked older men who were veterans or pensioners that she knew had money in the bank, just like her previous husband.
There you go.
And the next man who came into her life fit that profile to a T.
Ooh.
So this guy's name was Hiram Parkinson, but his fate was different than Lizzie's previous husband. He left her in their first year of marriage, but he did connect Lizzie with her next husband. Now, his name was George Smith, and he was a friend of Hiram. The two men served together in the war, and after Hiram left, George and Lizzie began seeing each other. So George married Lizzie in 1886, and within the first few months of marriage, Lizzie tried to kill George by poisoning his tea with arsenic. Now, somehow this guy survived, so Lizzie went on the run. But before she did, she stole everything from George that wasn't nailed to the floor. Who do you think helped her do this?
I don't know. Did she have a little boyfriend on the side or a friend?
Well, that would be her ex Hiram.
Oh, really? Extra Hiram did it. Okay.
I don't know. Now, at this point, I kind of respect her little manipulations a bit. She's doing pretty good.
She's pretty smart, yeah.
After they went and robbed George, the two went and fled to Vermont, and it was here she met her next husband, who was named Charles Playfell. She was a little busy. So 2 weeks after this, Charles came home to find Lizzie completely gone, and, well, so went the stuff. In the winter of 1888, Lizzie surfaced in Philadelphia when she walked into a saloon that was owned and operated by the McQuillan family, who were family friends back in Ireland. She asked them if she could stay with them, and they agreed to help her out to start a new life. So as part of starting fresh, Lizzie decided to go by the new name of either Lizzie or Maggie Hopkins. She decided to open up a small shop, but right after it opened, Lizzie burnt it to the ground, and she collected the insurance money. Now, she was quickly found out and arrested for arson. She was convicted, and she started to serve a 2-year sentence in the Eastern State Penitentiary. To finish off her sentence, she was transferred to a mental health facility. Now, this resulted in Charles Jr. being taken away from his mother, and she never saw him again. So, Ryan, do you think that jail and mental health facilities back then put her on a good path?
No, not really. She was a woman, and I can't believe she would do such a thing. So we'll talk to you a little bit. And she says she's sorry, so we'll just let her go.
Of course, it didn't work out. Because already, if you think about it, her criminality started as a teen.
Right.
And those mental health facilities back then really didn't care a lot about mental health.
No.
So after Lizzie was released in 1889, she went to New York State, and she changed her name again to Lizzie Brown. Now, she quickly found a job as a housekeeper for Paul Halliday, which was exactly the type of man that Lizzie liked. So, do you have any guesses so far what Paul was like on her past practice?
Probably an elder statesman, probably a war hero with some money and to spend on everybody.
Well, you are correct again. So Paul was 70 years old when he was in her 20s. He had money in the bank, he was widowed, and he was a twice-injured Civil War veteran with a pension. Now, he also had a couple sons from his previous marriage and a 100-acre coal farm in Burlingame, New York. Exactly the type of man that Lizzie liked. So the two were quickly married, but this marriage, as you can imagine, was far from a deal. So Paul quickly learned what he called was Lizzie's spells of insanity. He learned about these pretty quickly. So she apparently constantly just threw temper tantrum after temper tantrum and had extreme fits of rage. So as part of this, she set multiple fires on Paul's farm, which resulted in her burning down their house, their barn, and a mill. Now, originally it was thought that Paul's mentally disabled son, Johnny, was responsible for the fires.
Right.
Now, Johnny died in the barn fire, but those in the community knew that it probably was Lizzie. Now, Paul later confirmed this after he told his neighbors that in a fit of rage, Lizzie admitted that she set all of these fires and she cut Johnny's throat before she set the barn fire. So, Ryan, at this point of our story, if you were Paul, what would you do after all this? Remember, fits of rages, burns down your farm, and now she claims she killed your son. What would you do?
Well, I mean, she just seems like she's got a bit of a problem, need a little help, and maybe I can get her some help and we could continue our relationship. And yes, maybe my son was, he really wasn't going to make it in this world anyway. So he probably got rid of it.
Slipped and fell and cut his own throat.
Yeah, so maybe I'll give her another chance. No, she needs to go on her way.
No kidding. If it was me, I would literally find the furthest part of the earth away from this woman. But Paul must have believed in death do us part because he stayed with her.
Oh, what a lovely guy.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Now,
love prevails.
They were married for about 2 years. Lizzie stole a big amount of money from Paul with a male accomplice. So the two decided to steal a team of horses and use them to go to Newburgh and elope. Now, it didn't matter to Lizzie that she was still legally married to Paul at the time, but after they got to Newburgh, this guy abandoned Lizzie there. So meanwhile, Paul decided to go to the police about the theft, not about the murder or the burning or any of that, just about the money.
Yeah, they'll take my money.
He then sent the authorities to find Lizzie. They did find her fairly quickly because she was trying to sell that stolen horse team. They arrested her for theft, and during her trial, she pled insanity. So she served 8 months in jail and afterwards was placed in an asylum. So when she was in that asylum, who do you think she's reaching out to?
Well, she's probably reaching out to an old friend.
Well, that would be Paul. And as you can imagine, she's begging Paul to take her back. I love you, honey. I didn't mean to burn down your farm.
I didn't mean to kill your son.
I really didn't mean. I tripped and fell when I killed your son. I'm so sorry. I'm good. Well, after the asylum deemed that Lizzie was completely cured, they released her back into Paul's care. And Ryan, Paul took her back. So, now that you know all this, what do you think is going to happen next?
I think they're going to live a long and healthy life because she got better and he is a loving, caring husband taking her back. Or either she kills him and takes all his stuff. One or the other.
Well, one of those is right.
Oh, the first one, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So Paul brought her back to the farm that he rebuilt when she was in the asylum in the spring of 1893. But by August, so remember, came home in spring, by August, Paul's gone. So Paul's neighbors were immediately suspicious here. When they would speak to Lizzie, they would ask him where Paul was, and she would just say, oh, he's away from the farm traveling. Now, considering Paul was a homebody, and Lizzie, well, her past, they didn't believe anything she said. So, when Lizzie wasn't paying attention, her neighbors decided to search Paul's farm for him. Now, the neighbors didn't find him, but what they did find was the bodies of 2 women that were hidden under a haystack in the barn.
So.
We just take a little twist there in the story.
Oh, really?
Lizzie immediately, the authorities took her to custody and they brought her to a local judge's home while even more family and friends were now coming to the farm to go look for Paul. Before I tell you about Paul's fate, we do need to go back to those 2 women that were hidden underneath the haystack in the barn.
Yeah.
Both of these women were bound and shot, and they were quickly identified as Margaret and Sarah McQuillan. Does that name sound familiar to you, Ryan?
They do, somewhat, yeah.
Well, if you guys all remember, Lizzie stayed at the McQuillans when she was in Philadelphia, when she set up that shop and then burnt it down to the ground. That was the family that was helping Lizzie start a new life. So what Lizzie did was lured the mother and the daughter to Paul's farm after she promised them jobs working there. When they arrived, she shot them both and hid their bodies in the barn underneath a haystack. So now we got to find Paul, right?
Yeah, Paul somewhere.
The friends and neighbors continued to search the farm along with Paul's son, Paul Jr., and soon they found what they never wanted to find. They found Paul's mutilated body underneath the floorboards in his own house. So he had been found and shot too before Lizzie mutilated his corpse. So the police tried to talk to Lizzie and try to find out why she did this, but when they started questioning her, she started to tear apart her clothes, she started talking incoherently. a lot of the people there are like, okay, she completely lost her sanity, but most of them are like, no, we don't believe it, because they thought she was doing what she did in the last trial, which she was trying to set up an insanity defense. So, which one do you think? Do you think she is setting up a defense, or do you think that she's just crazy?
I think she's setting up a defense, and she's probably got a little bit of crazy in her because no sane person is just going to kill people, even for a little bit of money. I mean, she took a lot from every other man. There was a couple of men she took a lot from that she didn't kill. So,
well, and those guys are the ones that left her, so I just think they're lucky.
Oh yeah, they're lucky. They found him another young woman.
They need to buy some lotto tickets, lucky.
Yeah, they need to. This old Lizzie, wow, what a name.
So Lizzie was brought to the Sullivan County jail in New York State to await trial. While she was there, they continued to search the farm. And there was a good reason. Because at the time of the farm fires, 14-year-old neighbor George Klein went missing. Now, many people believe that he actually is one of Lizzie's victims, but George's body was never found. But then another murder was linked to Lizzie. In 1890, Lizzie and a friend of hers were suspected in robbing and then shooting a peddler named Hutch. This guy's murder remains unsolved. And in another strange coincidence, Dr. Albert Bonfield, who seen Lizzie as a patient, he ended his own life in September of 1893. Now, he did this after becoming extremely distraught when he heard about these murders. So after his death, many people have speculated that he actually gave Lizzie chloroform that she used to incapacitate her victims, and the guilt from this caused him to end his own life. But to be clear, that's only speculation. We have no idea. He didn't leave a note. We have no idea.
Wow, we're going to get ready to take a break. I want to get more into Lizzie's story. Lizzie seems like a wholesome woman that just tried to live her best life, and, everybody tries to live their best life. And these men were just, they knew what they were getting with a young girl. I mean, they were using her for that too. We got more with Brenda Ganske after this break as we continue with Horrifying History 101 this morning. You guys stay with us. More on the way as the RyanORadio Penitentiary cruises on. All right. We are at break now.
Yeah, this chick was crazy.
She was crazy, all right.
Oh,
crazy in love.
I don't understand how this woman could have gotten away with what she did for so long, but I truly do think it has absolutely with she was a delicate flower. Well, that woman was no delicate flower.
It was that day and time for sure.
Yeah, I think she's a little closer to Thistle or, singing nettle, maybe some poison ivy.
Well, her name is Lizzie, so that tells you a lot right there. She influenced it. She was an influence. Cher says she's pretty messed up, evil woman. This is where they wrote that song, where Santana wrote that song, Evil Woman.
Yeah. And realistically, okay, if you're going to have an misogynistic ideology, maybe being a serial killer and a female, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It really does make you get away with things a lot longer. But I wouldn't want to, if she came up to me and started being charming and I heard her past, yeah, I would be like, how do you explain that away? Seriously, how do you explain it away? I would love to know what her verbal skills was, that she just went up to Paul and was like, so sorry for leaving you and robbing you and trying to marry another dude.
I truly love you, honey. I didn't mean to do that. I know I killed your son. But you know what? You know that he was never going to have a good life because he was an underground.
He kind of deserved it.
Yeah, he was never going to have a good. I just took him out because I loved him. I didn't take him out because anything except for I wanted him to have a better life, and he wasn't going to have a better life.
He attacked me. I don't know if you knew that, but he did have a mental disability, and that means classically back at this time that they're all bad people and they could just kill us all in one moment. So he tried to kill me. That's what happened.
Well, back then, mental disability, that probably could have been the reason why he believed that, because they probably did believe that. That's probably why she got away with that, but you know, and then he just went in. No, all she did was show up. All she did was he showed up back home, and she was standing there with nothing on, and he forgave her.
And that's exactly what I can't help but think. It sounds so rude, and I'm glad we're not on open radio at this moment, but she must have some talent.
She had lots of talent.
She must have some very serious skills. If you murder a guy's son, and he's like, yeah, come on in, come home.
She just like, you're missing all of this.
I can see it now with her Victorian dress, literally going, you're missing all of this.
Need to make a little movie short about it.
Well, you know the funny thing. So my best friend, I'm going to use the language, but I call him directly. He's a man whore. And from the second I met him, I said to him, I think you're an amazing guy. We have so much in common. We're never going to have anything because I know where you've been and damn. But the point of it is, we're going to be best friends forever. And we have been best friends now for 32 years.
Wow.
And that guy is still a man whore to this day. And you know what he says about crazy women?
What?
He said, crazy women have the best sex because they're crazy. And that's the problem with him. He keeps on finding these women that, let's just say, are not the best.
There you go.
At least he's honest about it.
Yeah, he is. All right, we're coming back. Oh, welcome back into the RyanORadio Penitentiary, everybody. 34 minutes past the hour. It is 55 degrees. Metro Atlanta area of cloudy skies and rainy skies out there. Time and temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. We continue our story and continue our history lesson this morning with the professor of horrifying history, the one, the only Brenda Ganske, as we talk about Lizzie on her holiday. No wonder she had that last name. She was on a holiday, all right. She went from one person to another, enjoying her best life. Lizzie, she might have been crazy, but she was a little bit of a genius.
A little bit. You know, I don't know if her last name is representative of her because all that killing and, you know, temper tantrum throwing and burning down buildings, that does take a lot of energy.
It does. It does.
You know, so, you know, maybe she wasn't on a holiday after all.
Maybe not. But she seemed to be able to live her best life, live her best life through everybody else's life.
Well, she had a type.
She had a type. Almost dead.
At this point of our story, Ryan, Lizzie's in jail. Okay.
All right.
She's waiting for her trial. And do you think her behavior in prison was exemplary?
Oh, I think she was a perfectly normal angel, and she was the perfect prisoner. Not.
No. If we're going to go continue with her behavioral cycle that she's in, she's going to be horrible.
Exactly.
So, in jail, Lizzie refused to eat. So the prison physician deemed it necessary to forcibly tube feed her. And when they did, she attempted to strangle the sheriff's wife. So, I don't even know why she'd be there, to be honest with you. Like, was she a nurse? No idea. But a couple days after that, she set her bed and clothing on fire. By early December, she tried to hang herself using a strip of cloth she tore off the bottom of her dress. By the 15th, she broke the glass of the window for her cell, and she used that to deeply gash her arms and to cut her own throat. But she survived. Now, with all this happening, I personally would not give the press the opportunity to interview Lizzie. But, of course, back then, they're like, why not? Sounds like a great idea. So they decided to let the press interview Lizzie. This is when she revealed that she's been married 6 times by the age of 28.
Whoa!
Now, doesn't that go and indicate that there's a problem?
Well, she just couldn't find the right man. I mean...
Or she found the right man 6 times. And then just found the next right man.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So the press started doing the math, and things weren't matching up. 2 of her husbands died less than a year after they were married, and then Lizzie admitted that she tried to poison another one.
Ooh.
After this came out in the press, Paul's son Robert told them that Lizzie confessed that she killed a husband back in Ireland, and she was able to conceal this crime. So that means she did her first murder, if that's true, as a teenager.
Wow.
Now, that's when the local sheriff decided to get in on the action, and he started speaking to the press. So Sheriff Beecher started to make claims that, and I can't wait to hear what you think about this one, Ryan, that Lizzie was Jack the Ripper.
Really?
Now, his reasoning was that Lizzie was in London around the times of the Whitechapel murders, and she mutilated Paul like the Ripper mutilated his victims. He also said that since Lizzie constantly spoke about the Ripper murders while in jail, she was, quote, probably guilty. He then further told the press that she continuously spoke about many women that she robbed, killed, and cut up in tiny little pieces and then dumped into the Hudson's River. Now, personally, Ryan, I think the guy was a little biased since Lizzie tried to murder his wife by strangulation when they were at the trial.
I think so.
Experts today state that they believe only a small percentage of Lizzie's victims was actually discovered. So what do you think about the whole Jack the Ripper thing?
All right, the whole Jack the Ripper thing is, he was probably trying to get more press for himself to make his name more well known, because you read his name more well known. And I think that it's like if I was sitting in jail myself and say, hey, look, I'm James Hetfield from Metallica. I'm James Hetfield. Like the sheriff's going to believe I'm James Hetfield from Metallica, or he might be, So I think that he was just trying to get more press for his small town because he had held this prisoner here. Now that he's finding out that she has done some murders, let's blame some other murders on her. So.
Oh, I agree. I think that he completely did it to get attention for himself for whatever reasons that he came up with. And think about it. This, at this time, was a huge story throughout the press. Like, it was throughout the state.
It was.
Everybody was talking about it. But with that said, if they did have the Whitechapel murders, who they believe was male, to link the two to make her even further notorious, maybe he'll get like an 1800s book deal out of it. Who knows?
There you go. Make a lot of money.
Yes. Now, at the trial, many different witnesses were called to testify, who included Lizzie's doctors, her neighbors, family, and acquaintances. Now, most of the doctors who treated Lizzie all agreed she was insane, but some of them did believe she faked insanity when it was convenient or whenever she needed to get out of trouble, which would mean she probably faked this her entire life. Now, many people believe that she was just doing exactly that when one day she was leaving the courtroom, she decided to attack Sheriff Reacher and bite him on the hand. Now, this bite was not just a little love bite, Ryan. It was really drastic, and it got infected. Now, can you imagine that you're just leaving the courtroom and, like, the defendant bites you and you get a big hand infection, kind of like cat scratch fever?
Well, that's what happens for him calling her Jack the Ripper. She had her own name.
I think it was a little good little revenge. That wasn't that nice to say.
No, she's her own person. She is Lizzie Holiday. That's her. She's no Jack the Ripper.
So on June 21st, 1894, Lizzie was convicted of murdering both Margaret and Sarah. At her sentencing, Lizzie became the very first woman to be sentenced to death in New York State with the electric chair. But that never happened, since the governor commuted her sentence to life in a mental health facility after a medical commission did a full assessment of her and determined she really was insane. Now, I'm really surprised it just took them that long to figure that out. Now, she was admitted to the Mattawan State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, and Lizzie spent the rest of her life there until she died from kidney disease on June 18th, 1918. Now, some people say that Lizzie, she was a model patient. She was well-behaved, blah, blah, blah. But if you actually dig into the record, no, she was not. I think, personally, it was a massive mistake for them to go and say, hey, Lizzie's behaving today. Let's give her sewing privileges. Why do you think that I would think that's a bad idea?
Oh, she'd probably take that needle and stab somebody with it or stab herself.
Now, I worked at a lockdown unit.
Okay.
And, they always seem to want to have scissors.
Oh.
They always do.
Oh.
And there's a reason they want the scissors, and it's not for a good reason.
No.
I actually literally had one person who was very mentally ill come up to me, just walk up to me and say, excuse me, could I have a pair of scissors? And of course I'm polite because I'm Canadian. And I say to her, and why would you want those scissors? She goes, oh, I'm going to stab you in the chest. And I said, no, that's a really bad idea. And she said, why is that? And I said, well, technically I have a dog at home and I have to go home and feed him. And you don't want to go feel bad that my dog starves to death because you stabbed me in the chest, right? She goes, you're right. Sorry about that. And went back to her room. Who knew that I could talk myself out of death that quickly?
You don't want my dog to go hungry if you kill me. You're right. I don't want to kill you. I don't want your dog to go hungry, but I don't care about you.
You, yes, but not the dog, no.
Exactly. I care about the dog, but not you.
Well, became very close to Lizzie. Her name was Nellie Wicks, and when Nellie told Lizzie that she decided to take a job at another facility, Lizzie stole a pair of sewing scissors and stabbed Nellie over 200 times. Nellie's death made her the last documented victim of the woman that the press now called the Catskills Ripper. So Lizzie came at a time where people clearly believed that a woman wouldn't kill, and this proves how bad of a mistake that was. When she died in the asylum in 1918, her obituary declared her to be the worst woman on earth. So Ryan, after hearing all this, do you think she earned that title?
Well, in that day and time, yes, she did earn that title. Now, compared to some of the women in politics in today, I don't know. She might be a little bit of a lesser of evil of them. But for that, for what she did, yes, she is the worst woman in the world.
I agree. And there's actually a book that it's called Lady Killers by author Tori Telfer, and it actually deeply examines how gender norms shape the treatment of female serial killers in history and explores the circumstances that drove some of history's most notorious women to murder. It's actually a great read. And a lot of that, if you go and dive down into it, a lot of it has to do with gender norms at the time. Again, thinking that you can get away with it. Really, if people just think that I'm a delicate little flower, or they think that I'm going to go necessarily, and you tell them I'm a serial killer murdering people and dumping in my backyard, in the times it makes sense that they would get away with it because it's just something that people didn't think happened.
Right. Well, if you told me you were a serial killer, I'd believe you, Brenda. But
yes, you really should. But that is the thing. And this book, not Lady Killers, actually deeply goes into the shaping of rumors that happened in the press around female serial killers like Lizzie.
Right.
And so apparently Lizzie was mocked for her looks growing up. She was separated from her son. She fled some violent relationships, and that helped push her down the path. Now, I know a lot of people that had they were bullied. They may not be with their child at the moment. They escaped violent relationships, and they don't go stab people 200 times in the chest with a pair of scissors.
No.
Right. There is a lot of things is back then there was hardship, but people didn't know how to deal with hardship. They didn't have the science per se to go and explain mental health conditions, and nor did they have medications or treatments available. So therefore, it makes a lot of sense that people would go and say, "Oh, well, she's just a delicate little flower."
Yes. Well,
she's just having a little spell.
She's just having a hissy. All women throw hissy fits.
She's just having. It's one her time of the month.
Yes. Well,
it makes sense, though, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but also you got to think about, put two and two together, is in that day and time, a lot of old men dated young girls that were 13, 14, 15 when they started becoming wives. These are teenage girls. They're going to act up. They're children. So, of course, throwing the hissy fits makes sense, even at her age up to 28. That just means that she was not mentally stable, but it's just one of those things that was expected that day and time. So, of course, them looking at, well, she's throwing a hissy fit and burning down the barn. She was just mad because that's what women do. So, that makes a lot of sense. And in 2024, it'd be like a grown woman doing that, be like, that woman needs to be put in a mental hospital.
Exactly. And it really just shows the different ideologies at the time.
Right.
Like, for example, back then, she's having a spell. It's hormonal.
Right.
That sort of thing. That was the ideology back then when people were having, and that's why they did put people that were pre or postmenopausal, for example, or who had a postpartum depression. That's why they put them in silence. They didn't know that this is, it's a hormonal, yes, but does that necessarily cause everyone to kill? No. And Lizzie, she clearly had issues from day one. She was not the society norm from day one when she's literally marrying a guy and then poisoning husband number 2 as a teenager, poisoning his tea with arsenic. That's not normal. But what did they do about it? Nothing.
Well, that was, to them, it was a woman and the way women acted. But the thing about it is that she was not a woman. She was a child at the time. And we have more knowledge in this day and time to know that a 14-year-old and 15-year-old and a 16-year-old is not going to be able to act like an adult. You can't expect a teenage child to be able to walk into a house and start running a household like a 30-year-old woman can. So
and the same thing, an actual brain, a human brain doesn't mature until you hit 20.
right.
So she clearly wasn't working with a mature brain. We don't know if she had any sort of acquired brain injuries, what her brain chemistry was, but clearly there was things that happened that drove her there. But now my thought was she actually went to an asylum, and then they said she was cured, and then they let her out.
Yeah, because she acted right.
So was it more of was she more sociopathic in her move? Possibly. Convinced them that she was normal.
That's the ones that got away with being normal back then were the ones that ended up being the killers and the all of this that happened, and they were just let go. And then the ones that were kept in these places, died in these places, and probably a lot of them were normal. Well, speaking of that, tell everybody how to follow you, what's coming up next, what's the next show, and what we got on tap.
Well, Horrifying History can be found on any podcast provider, and we do release our episodes each Wednesday. And being Wednesday today, I decided to tell the tale of one of the weirdest disasters that I've ever heard of. I had to follow up this story with something good, right?
Right.
So this disaster is called the Great Molasses Flood, and it occurred in Boston. I'm just saying, after doing research, death by molasses is really, really bad.
And sticky.
Now, for more spooky stuff, check out our social media. We're on Facebook at Horrifying History, on Instagram and Threads at Horrifying_History, and on X at Horrifying HIST1.
All right. Well, we're going to let Brenda out on good behavior this morning, and we hope you guys learned something and got all the notes down, because there'll be a test again next month. We've got more horrifying history with the professor herself, Brenda Ganske, next month with us in the month. Guys, stay tuned. We can close out the show right after this. All right. Awesome as always.
Well, I'm going to have to give credit to my mom, because mom's the one that pointed me in the direction of this hot mess of a story.
There you go. She did a great job of getting a great subject for today.
And you know what I was thinking of doing from the next month, and I'm going to throw it your way and see, since it's Valentine's Day next month, even though we're later in the month.
Right.
I was thinking of doing the story of Belle Gunnis.
That sounds good to me.
Considering she had so many boyfriends and husbands and then killed her children, do you think that would work out well?
I think it would be a great love story for next month. Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you later.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
What's up, Doc? My second Doc. I got another Doc. I want to thank every one of you guys for tuning in on the YouTube page. Can't get on Facebook. Facebook said I did something wrong. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm always down the middle and get along with everybody. Caring about people. Facebook don't like you caring about people. Don't be doing all that, guys. I'll be back tomorrow on Facebook. But also, Dr. Edward, our father of physics, is on listening to the show. We appreciate you. That's the kind of listeners I have. All my listeners are educated. Isn't that right, Cher and Gail and Anna Marie and every one of you, and people from other countries that are listening this morning? That's the kind of listeners I have. They like to listen to me tell the truth. Oh, we're getting ready to come back, guys, and close out the show. I'm going to give you a rundown of tonight's wrestling show. Cher says, absolutely, that's right. Yes, indeed. That's the kind of listeners I got right there. Educated ones. Good morning, everybody. We appreciate you. All right, ladies and germs, let me go ahead and give you a little rundown of we're going to do more wrestling wrap-up on Friday instead of today. We did the odd news, the funny news, and everything. Glad you liked the story today. Yes, we loved it, Brenda. Coming up on Friday, I'm going to do my preview of Royal Rumble coming up on Friday and everything. And just to let you guys know a couple of newsworthy notes, The Rock is now part of TKO Company, which is the company that's partnership between UFC and WWE. He's on the board of directors there. And they announced yesterday that Netflix will be January of 2025. Netflix will start exclusively running WWE Raw in the United States, Canada, UK, and Latin America. Also, some of the other programming like SmackDown and Raw, which are going to be on television, will also be on Netflix in other countries, and they're going to run some of the pay-per-views as well. So just to let you guys know there. And the rundown of tonight's AEW show. Adam Copeland taking on Suzuki. Hangman Adam Page and Penta. AEW Trios title on the line to Acclaim Billy Gunn taking on Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. Warlow taking on Trent. Swerve Strickland and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's going to lose to somebody finally who's got a name and knows how to wrestle. And actually been in wrestling instead of losing to a bunch of unknown Orange Cassidy losers. Sorry, wrestling marks. I'm telling you the truth. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't need to be in the business. It's the same as, you see behind me? This is a radio station. If you're playing podcasts, no wonder Spotify took you off. You didn't know what you were doing. Timeless Tony Storm and D'Angelo are going to be face-to-face. And Sting, Darby Allin speak. So there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. More on the way is the RyanORadio Penitentiary. Maybe that's what Facebook didn't like. I was telling everybody that real radio and we're not in our mom's basement.
We're not
playing conspiracy theory, putting my shades on. Because over there in the corner, there sits a broom. And next to the broom sits the doc. Let me put my Roddy Piper glasses on and see if they turn to lizard people. Dadgum, he looks like a man and that looks like a broom. What the heck?
Doesn't work.
Dadgummit. I got the wrong glasses this morning, I guess. You're supposed to be looking, y'all supposed to be, you and the lizard broom supposed to be coming in here and giving lizard thoughts.
I can do it.
Anyway, folks, this is Real Radio for you. We appreciate it. First of all, I want to thank Brenda Ganske again for being with us. Tomorrow morning is True Crime Thursday. We got true crime stuff. Friday, I'm going to preview Royal Rumble weekend ahead on Saturday that I'll be watching. We'll have Friday show. We got a couple more days. It's and another few days in January. I can't believe January is almost over. Get ready for Health, Happiness, and Harmony coming up next hour with Dr. Lewis Boynton. Doc, there, Dr. Edward, you need to tune in. You might enjoy this. Father of Physics might really enjoy this show too. And just don't become his fan over mine because you and him have something in common. You're doctors and you're educated. Anyway, I got a little bit of education ball. Got it from that high school down there. It told me that, reading Black history was wrong. Hey, look, I'm messing with these uneducated people. I'm sorry. I have an educated audience. They laugh at it. Probably the only educated audience on the radio dial. All right, guys. You guys have a great day. Peace, love, respect. I am out of here. We'll be back tomorrow with True Crime Thursday. We got some true crime news stories that you guys have got to listen up. You have a great rest of the day. Gail, Cher, Anna Marie, Horrifying History, Brenda Ganske, Dr. Edward, I call him the father of physics, on with us, and so many other of you. Thank you very much. Hopefully we're back on the Facebook tomorrow as well. So stay tuned. Peace, love, respect. I am out of here. Until we meet again, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned for Health, Happiness, Harmony Hour next, followed by a great repeat of a show. The sports lineup, 12 to 5, Rod Peterson, 12 to 2. Sports beat, Richard Holdridge, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, Braves Country Radio with Mac McGee. That's all coming up for you today. And Rick Smith takes you into the afternoon drive with Union News and more. We'll be back tomorrow, and you guys take care. And hopefully I'll be able to tag all 100 or 200 people I want to tag, or even more, tomorrow on my Facebook. Abracadabra! Is that what it says? Oh, have a good day. Okay, that's going to be a good. You have a good day too. It's like, have a good day. Have a good day. You have a good day. You sound like Scooby there for a minute, Anna Marie. Have a good day, Reggie. Have a good day, Reggie. You guys take care.
Who's Scooby-Doo?
Do what?
Who's Scooby-Doo?
You know who Scooby-Doo is?
I know. A lot of people don't know Scooby.
My audience does. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Damn Facebook told me I did